What's up, everybody? We're back with the best horror villain tournament. We went through the first 32 yesterday. And we're gonna go through the next 32 today. This is the Horny Goat. We've got myself, Heather, Trek, Gina, Bobbitt, all on the line, and I've got OK Fabe's picks. So I've already mixed it all up. I've randomized who's gonna fight each other. We're gonna jump into this. Before I do you guys have anything you want to say?
Hi.
Well, you asked what the hell is that? That was Gina hiccuping.
Yeah. It was like a half hiccup, half burp that I was trying to hold in because I knew we were hitting the live button.
Make sure you play with the penis in traffic.
Oh, I will. Yeah, he is. I don't know why he's lower now than he was before, right?
Yeah, did he say play with the PS traffic?
Play with your penis in traffic.
Oh.
Play with the PS in traffic.
That makes so much more sense. Oh.
All right, but if you guys don't know, we put out a video yesterday, and we're going through the top 64 villains. We're eliminating them one by one until we get to the final winner. But this is more of the preliminaries. We're trying to get the 64 down to 32, so it's more manageable, and we can put a bit more thought into why we're picking who we're picking. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. And keep in mind, we're gonna cast a vote at the end of each one. It's everybody on the call. We've got 6 people in total, or 5 people in total, or 6 people in total on the call, and whatever the amount is. And we've got the chat that will also put in their vote to help us choose who is the best of the best bad boy, Will Smith. But we're gonna start off the first we've got, and I've seen this has been multiple movies, but here we go. Look at this sexy bitch.
Yeah. The Nun.
The Nun is from the Conjuring franchise. I think it's like an entity that takes over that persona, but it's not always that persona. It's a demon of some fucking form. I don't know. Have you guys seen this movie specifically, The Nun? Because it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
I have not seen the movie, but I've seen the character.
I haven't seen The Nun. I thought I wasn't paying attention to the screen. I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, this was it almost felt like a side track of the Conjuring franchise.
I thought you were going to say a side piece.
It is like a side piece. You fucking ratchet ass bitch. Just you watch it, you don't enjoy it, but you finish and then you leave. So it is very much a side piece. But the Nun is still like the main antagonist in the Conjuring series. It was in the Conjurings themselves as one of the entities. But in this movie, it is the main one. And the movie it immediately looks like a B-movie piece of shit. I'm not going to lie. Anybody out there that's seen it that loves it, I'm sorry. But it is what it is.
Well, the teeth. It's just the teeth that make it look, because I think without the teeth, she would have probably looked a lot creepier.
With that prosthetic right there, you can see where the gum line is actually projecting out from where her natural gum is.
There's no depth to her inner mouth.
Not only that, but on the bottom right hand, you can actually see one of her molars, like her actual teeth.
Here's a fucked up thing. She kind of looks like Marilyn Manson in the bottom.
She does. I was just gonna say that.
But she's I'd fuck her. In real life, she's pretty hot. So there's that. But okay. So she's a demonic bitch. She's got a bunch of fucking shit. Look, mass murder, slavery. Hold on, let me get this up so I can actually see it. Okay, so 40 kill count is pretty fucking high, and I think that is actually from the one movie, The Nun. So I watched it, and I'm pretty sure she killed like 2 people. But then I looked up the kill count, I'm like 40. What the fuck? Did I not actually watch this movie?
Yeah, but sometimes with these like horror movies, okay, like take the Haunting or whatever it is, for example. In that movie, it's established in the movie that people have died in that house before them. So like sometimes with the kill count, if there's like a definitive person that they can pin it on or whatever, then they will actually add the people that weren't even in the movie, like the prior owners or whatever.
I guess a lot of the kills are alluded to, and because you see the characters, they mention them. Oh, they were here, but they're dead. Then they still count as kills. Because in the beginning of this movie, spoilers. I don't think anybody cares. She kills the whole enclave of nuns or wherever the fuck they are. Convent. Yeah. I was trying to think of the word, and in my mind it was like convex.
That's okay, because I kept on thinking Conjuring, because I think I said The Haunting before, but I think this bitch was on The Conjuring, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
You know she was.
Yeah.
Still like a decent horror villain that's just like, she kind of gets lost in the mix for me when it comes to The Conjuring and like that whole, I guess, cinematic universe, because it's The Conjuring, Sinister, the other one, they're all kind of from the same people. Insidious is part of them too, so they kind of get lost in them. It's like just another fucking creep from outside of this world. But we'll see who she's going up against right now. My fucking mouse. I have a wireless mouse, and it's starting to not respond to me.
Oh, batteries.
I have to reconnect it. Like, have the computer forget it and then reconnect it so it refreshes. Oh.
Here's the thing. This was like a cult favorite character. I never got it. I think it missed my age group by quite a bit. It also had like video games, shit like that. The problem is it had a cult following and video games before it even had a movie or anything around it. I think it was like a creepy pasta thing that they did.
Yeah, creepy pasta. Yeah.
I think I've never seen this movie, but I think what creeps me out the most about Slender Man is actually the real stories about what these kids did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because they believed in him.
It did inspire some terrible shit.
Yeah, I think that's like the creepiest for me.
It wasn't that far away from where we live.
Exactly. It was in Wisconsin, wasn't it?
Yep.
Waukesha.
Well, I knew it was going to be. Every time they tried to sell this, I remember Sony had the movie and they tried to sell it to streaming, and Netflix actually looked at it, laughed, and said no. So I knew it was going to bomb.
Well, that's because nobody wanted it. I mean, after what happened or whatever, and that wasn't the only case. I think that was the only murder, but there were other cases where like kids were going psychotic and like they just happened to get caught right before they committed murder.
Right. It's also because from what I've heard, the movie was actually really bad.
Yeah, it was 100%. It should have been straight to DVD. Only the name.
They tried to, but nobody would pick it up.
No, I mean, that being said, like when I looked this motherfucker up, the list of powers, I had to cut out half of it. Like, he's got every power known to mankind, yet he's like he's not that menacing. Just a weird lanky fucker in a suit.
Yeah, but you have to remember that like the look of Slender Man isn't really what was supposed to be menacing about him. It was the fact that he could persuade children to do what he wanted them to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, the list of his powers is like he can do whatever he wants, realistically. I mean, that being said, the true story behind it does give this one some oomph. As a horror villain, movie-wise, he's absolute garbage. But character-wise, the mythos behind the character is a bit, in my opinion, more interesting than The Nun. That being said, The Nun has been in like 7 fucking movies, and it's kind of like, nobody really cares.
Not only that, but The Nun has also had more kills.
Yeah, The Nun has had more kills. I mean, the thing is, it's hard to find, like, because there's no. What am I basing this on? The one movie that came out that nobody watched. You know what I mean? Where the Nun's like been established. She does do a lot of kills in one movie. I don't know. This is one for me that I don't care too much about either of them. Anybody could win, but I'm gonna take a quick look and say Alpha and JP are going with Slender Man, and Acid is saying pee poo 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 man. So it's hard. I mean, I don't know. I'm ready to cast a vote if you guys are on this. Gina, you want to?
I'm just gonna say right now, this is some bullshit. Okay, you got these two assholes up against each other, but yet Freddy versus fucking Pennywise. Fuck you.
Don't hold on to the past, okay?
It's sore, okay?
Freddy's dead.
Hurts me.
Freddy's dead.
Freddy's not dead.
That was a good
I love
movie.
Freddy, but I fucking love Freddy Krueger. But anywho, I'm going with the Chad. I'm going to say Slender Man.
You're going with Slender Man. Right, Heather?
I'm going to go with Slender Man simply because of the amount of powers he has compared to the Nun.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with the Nun. Give a fighting chance to the old bitch. Bobbit, who you going with?
Unmute. There we go.
I'm going with the Slender Man.
The Slender Man.
I almost said Jessamine Duke.
Going with Dookie on my face.
Oh, God.
And Trek, though, it probably doesn't matter who you're going to go with, man.
I'll go with Slender Man.
Yeah.
So Slender Man already had a pretty big lead.
You guys are cruel going with fake ass Slender Man. Look at him. He looks like a mannequin with long arms. Garbage.
I mean, if we're doing like the actual villains, then I probably should have voted for the Nun just because like Slender Man movie, like literally nobody saw it. But whatever, Slender Man won anyway.
Here's the thing. Okay, Fabe went with the Nun, so he's with me in spirit. Fuck you guys.
It's still 6-2 though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say even if I would change my vote, we would still lose.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, neither of these guys are too like. I mean, I'd say the Nun has more prominence, and probably kids would know the Nun. And Slender Man has a lot of prominence online, so I don't know.
That's exactly the thing. The Nun, yes, it's been in several movies. However, Slender Man has inflicted real life.
Yeah. Welcome to the losing team, Basement.
Yeah, well, I don't really care about this one. It's just you with Freddy and JP with Pazuzu. JP is like, Pazuzu should kill everyone! It literally tortured a girl for 2 hours. I don't know. Alright, moving on. The next bad boy on the list is this beast, and I know it's Gina's favorite.
I don't... not a fan.
What?
Not a fan.
I thought you loved it.
I literally have never been able to fully watch this movie because it terrified me as a kid.
Really? Like, I mean, Candyman always like draws a comparison to Bloody Mary for me. Isn't it the same kind of idea?
And I think that that's why it creeped me out so much because like the whole it's kind of comparison to Animary 20. As well, and Annie Mary 20 is like a local legend around by me because I live literally 10 miles away from where she was buried. So every time I tried to watch Candyman, it was always with my best friend's older siblings, and they would like scare the shit out of us with these like true stories. Fucking assholes.
You know what? I will say Candyman would never be anywhere close to as scary if the bees weren't involved. The bees make him that much more frightening. It's just disgusting, and then when he has the bees in his mouth and shit like that, and I know they're rebooting this one, so hopefully it's good when it eventually comes out.
The original one was from Clive Barker, who did Hellraiser, but he was smart with this one. He made sure they couldn't take the rights away from him to screw it up, so he's been in charge of it ever since, and they did like 4 movies. They called it a day, so he must really trust Jordan Peele to let him do it.
I mean, Jordan Peele's going to get all that acumen now. The only problem is, I don't know if he's capable of doing a truly scary movie, but that's just my opinion. But when it comes to Candyman, we got Acid saying he was the scariest, yo. I swear to God. I will say I don't remember watching this movie.
I never
Which means I might not have watched this movie.
I never watched it in its entirety simply because of the fact that I actually got bored watching this movie.
I don't think I've seen it, but I know a decent amount about it, which is crazy that I've never gone back and watched it. But I guess it was one of those ones like when you're a kid or younger, you get exposed to specific movies, and that's just it. I'm pretty sure Candyman lost out because I had watched something of equal terrifyingness and kept my parents up at night forever.
I don't think that I ever made it past like 10 minutes into this movie because like. Really? No, like I'm serious because I was a kid. I was like maybe 8-9 years old, and the only time I was allowed to watch movies like this was if I stayed at my best friend's house, and her parents were always gone. Like not always, but whenever we watched movies like this, her parents were fucking gone, right? So like her older siblings were in charge of us. So like I made it maybe 10 minutes into this movie before they terrified the hell out of us and I ran to a different room. I was that little bitch of a kid, yes. But yet I could sit at home and watch Freddy Krueger with my mom all the time. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's weird as you grow up. Like certain ages, you do find things terrifying or frightening. But once you've seen it a couple times, it's like, I'm not gonna really be scared by it again. But and that's just the way it was. I mean, most of these older movies didn't really rely on the jump scares as much as they relied on just trying to scare kids. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
that's great.
This movie scared me because of that. And then like the Freddy Krueger movies, I was scared because my mom had the fucking long Freddy Krueger type nails. So her nails were like super fucking long when I was little. So she would sneak downstairs when I was watching Freddy Krueger and stab me with them in my fucking sides and scare the living shit out of me.
Now, JP,
that's why I like Freddy Krueger so much.
That seems like a weird connection. JP, I did read something about that. I don't know. They did mention it while I was looking up Candyman. They did mention history of slavery, whether it was him or his parent or something. And the thing is, I know a lot. I know the character. I could see the character, and I could say, "Oh, that's the actor that played Candyman. Oh, that's Candyman." He's very iconic, but again, I don't have the inner workings of him at all because I never saw the movie. But it's like I think more people than not would be like Candyman scary, but not have ever watched it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I don't know.
He's seen it, but it's not that scary. Not to me.
No, yeah. I mean, he's got a pretty good kill count there at 31. The one thing is, I don't think he made too many. I don't think they made too many movies. Was it just a one and done?
No, it was like 3 or 4.
But they were like the first one was barely passable, and the rest I'm assuming were really bad.
Even worse.
It was the case of what was the other movie last night that we went through that had like fucking 18 different movies? Hellraiser. It's Hellraiser.
It's the same guy. It's
He
Clive
does the same
Barker, yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it's the same guy. So you're gonna get the same material, basically.
But like I said, that he was smart enough to where he's like, I screwed up with Pinhead. I ain't gonna screw up with this one. I'm keeping the rights, and they only did like 3 movies. So no, but I mean that he didn't let them he didn't let them make a joke out of it.
Well, I will say when it comes down to it, if it's his creative genius behind the creation of those characters, that's impressive at least because the characters are very I'm decently well thought out for horror villains. But he doesn't do anything with it. It's like, oh, we're gonna make this really cool looking character, and we're gonna have this backstory, and then we're just gonna take a shit on the page for the rest of the actual script. So
right,
it's all in everything with his movies. It's all about the main character, the main horror villain, and then after that, it's just like, okay, now it's just a porno with a shitty story.
Yeah. Well, he was a guy that you had to call out in a mirror, right? And then he would just murder you. His whole thing was to kill you at that point in time. And then when he failed you, that was it. That was
just like Bloody Mary, Jesus said.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay, okay. Looking at this scene right here, does anybody else get Boogeyman vibes, or is that just me?
No.
Like, WWE Boogeyman.
It's the comparison of insects to worms. Anything that's gross and belongs in the ground or out of not on my body that they just put inside themselves is why. But we've got Candyman. Yeah. I'm gonna move on because we don't have a lot more to say about him. Candyman is gonna be facing this beautiful babe.
Oh, this isn't even a contest. This isn't even a fucking contest. Sissy all the way.
Sissy's basically. Here's the thing. When I watched this movie, I am almost 100% sure I watched until the point when they pour blood on her. And then, for some reason, I couldn't watch anymore. Either I was allowed to watch to that point and not allowed to watch anything past it. But that's why I was like, she killed how many fucking people? She has what power?
She went like fucking ballistic.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, like...
everybody at the prom.
The thing is, like... I have to argue against her being the villain, though. I mean, I know that she's the killer. Like, I get that, but
it was because of bullying.
I don't see.
It's like Frankenstein.
Yeah, I don't see her as the villain because, she literally did it out of fear because she they.
The thing is,
scared
does bullying require your reaction to be
It
murder.
doesn't constitute fucking murder, no, but I think, like, I don't see her as a villain because it with her telekinesis and stuff like that, like, she had powers that she didn't know the power of. And I don't think that she, like, meant to kill everybody. It just happened because she was angry.
No,
I don't know.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's hard to explain.
She meant to kill everybody, but she also ended up killing herself in the process.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My question to you guys is, like, because it's been a long fucking time since I saw this movie. When it comes to her, was she, like, showing any of those powers before she got blood on her head?
Yes.
Yes, but it wasn't, like, angry. Because she had telekinesis and stuff. That's one of the reasons why her mom was locking her in the fucking closet.
Mm-hmm.
I need to rewatch this movie, man. For fuck's sake.
It-
I only
it-
remember like two
Several
parts.
times
Yeah, you
throughout
do.
the
It's really
movie
good.
Before the prom scene, there are instances of her powers exposing themselves.
Mm. I have a funny story about this movie.
I did this at my prom.
No, actually, thank God I didn't. But so senior prom I probably could have. But anyway, I this movie will always kind of hold a special place in my heart because I was so fucking dumb at the time, and I was about 15 years old, and it was right around Halloween. I was watching Carrie on TV, right, and I had to pee. My house was really fucking creepy, you guys. Like, it was really creepy. So, and it made, like, noises on its own. So it's creepy enough. But anyway, so, like, I had to go downstairs to go to the bathroom. Well, I tried to wake my mom up. Yes, I'm 15 years old trying to wake my mom up. My mom's like, just go fucking pee. That's literally what she said to me. Just go fucking pee. So I walked downstairs, and my mom had this old lamp in the living room, right? It was like a really fucking old lamp, and I had a short in it. I go to turn the lamp on, and the whole fucking living room just blew up in, like, this bluish purple color. I don't think I've ever fucking ran as so fucking fast. I bolted up those stairs, and I literally jumped on top of my mom and, like, sandwiched myself. I sandwiched myself in between my fucking parents at 15 years old. I was sandwiched.
I have the power, Mom. Let me show you something.
No, I was so fucking scared, and my mom goes downstairs, and this is literally what she said. She turns the actual light on, and she looks over, and she sees that, you know, the lamp obviously blew out. And she looks at me, and she goes, "You fucking idiot." Like, thanks, Mom, you fucking asshole. Buy a fucking lamp that doesn't have a short in it.
Well, the good thing is Gina was so scared she didn't have to pee anymore, I guess.
No, I still had to fucking pee.
It sucks back in your body.
I mean, I knew better than to pee on my parents, because then I really would have been in trouble.
Yeah.
No, you did that when you were young.
Parents back then did not play those games.
Exactly. My mom would have been like, "What the fuck?"
Nowadays, it's like, "See, honey, there's nothing." Back in the day, push down the stairs. You're in the darkness now, bitch. Close the door.
Exactly.
And
Well, the
do
thing
the whole
about
this is Sparta kick down the stairs.
The thing about this story about Carrie is she didn't just stop at the prom. She, if I remember the
She
book
went out
right,
and killed a bunch of
she
people.
torched the entire town.
Yeah, she went out and like, I mean, even the movie shows her like
she
doing shit
actually-
outside the prom.
She actually didn't die at the prom. She left the prom, and she torched like shit along her way home. And then she went home, and she killed her mother, and then she torched her house, and she died inside her house with her mother.
Well, the ending to the book is like them having the town dealing with the aftermath. And someone on a podcast I was listening to said she pretty much just unleashed the Phoenix Force. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
and
she
you know
also burned herself to death. I mean, that's one, I guess, negative for her.
I don't know if any of you guys ever seen the sequel that they came out with
How
for
is
this.
there a sequel if she's already dead?
It's not a sequel.
It's a different girl.
It's the sequel. It was the same character who played her friend.
It is. It's a sequel. It's not Carrie. Like, it's Carrie Part 2, but it's a different girl that's like, no, it's a different girl, but she finds out that she's a blood relative of Carrie's.
Oh, okay. So
well, that script had been it came out the first or second year in my theater. If I remember correctly, the script had been floating around. They just horseshoe Carrie in the Carrie promo, the premise into it, but it had been floating around for like 20 years.
For money purposes.
I honestly,
for money.
The reason why I asked was because like the sequel that they did wasn't that bad. Like the girl that they cast in it was actually, she did a really good job. Now they did do a reboot a couple years ago, and that was fucking awful.
Like, the thing is, this is a movie that never needs to be remade, in my honest opinion.
No.
It's just
this movie is definitely a one and done.
Yeah. And I mean, you're not going to get it better than Sissy Spacek pulling it off, because she kills it in this movie.
But I feel like it's that way with so many different movies. It would be as if if they tried to remake The Shining with anybody other than Jack Nicholson. You know,
they did Dr. Sleep, which is a sequel. Really? It's not a remake.
They did a miniseries
from the guy
too.
from Wings.
Yeah.
Well, they did Dr. Sleep, which is a sequel, but it's pretty. Dr. Sleep was alright, I thought.
No,
they remade it as a miniseries.
Completely rebooted The Shining.
Oh yeah, no, that, and I guess nobody watched it because I don't know what the fuck you guys talking about.
I really just wish that they would leave certain movies alone. You know,
like absolutely nothing wrong with the original Shining.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing with Carrie. They did the miniseries on NBC a couple years ago. The funny thing was NBC wanted to make it a complete series and not just stop at a two-parter. Mike, you guys are stupid.
Where are you going to go with this character?
Exactly.
In all honesty.
Up NBC's ass.
But we have Carrie. She's a student, is her occupation, though she looks way older than a student should. And one of her powers is sewing. One of her powers is sewing. So I don't know why. Like I said, I did not add that shit. It was part of the actual power list.
She made her own prom dress. That's why her power is sewing, because she literally made her own prom dress.
So she does have a realistic power. Now, if you compare the two, we've got one that has powers but is a real person, or is supposed to be a real person, and then one that is like, you know,
a demon.
Freddy Krueger-esque, like off in a different realm that kind of like interacts with reality. Candyman.
Oh, Candyman.
So
I'm going with Carrie.
Yeah, you're going with Carrie. I think JP went with Candyman. I will tell you guys what OKFabe went with. OKFabe went with Candyman. So we've got 2-1. I'm gonna ask Bob at first if he's gonna go with Carrie or Candyman, if he's alive. And he's not.
I won't go with Carrie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who to go with yet. Heather, who are you going with? I mean, think about the two. Yeah, I mean, if it came down to it, like the one thing with Candyman is still ongoing. I don't think he dies in the movie. I don't think he can die. I think he's immortal.
He's an ethereal being, so there is no killing him.
But he's also something that needs to be kind of summoned by people to even be a thing. Carrie just came into her own, did her own thing, killed everybody, and just dipped. She said, "I'm done, motherfucker, burned to death." So she is more of like encapsulated in a one and done. Where when we were talking about having sequels, Candyman could, because the idea allows it to have such. Where just like certain other movies of the same vein do, where Carrie just does not, because it's like a one and done.
She kills herself.
You're going with Candyman, so we're what, 3-2 right now?
Yes.
Okay, I am going to go with Carrie. Make it 3-3 and make it very difficult for Trek to decide which one is going to come out on top.
You know, as much as I like Carrie, I'm going to go with Candyman, because Carrie was, it's like with Cujo. Carrie wasn't a bad person. She just pushed the limit and she just fucking lost her shit. So I do have to give them this, that if it wasn't for this movie, there would be no Friday the 13th as we know, because they admit they ripped that ending off wholesale. Like, where it's spoilers, her hand comes out of the grave in the dream sequence and scares the shit out of everybody. So that's pretty much where they got the idea for Jason jumping out of the lake. I mean, they've said it. So if it weren't for Carrie, we wouldn't have Jason, but I'll go with Candyman.
Yeah, I think also, like, iconic-wise, if somebody had never seen either movie, and you showed them a picture of Sissy Spacek and the guy that plays Candyman, they'd probably be able to say, hey, it's Candyman. In all honesty, because it's a bit more like pop culture around Candyman.
I think Carrie actually has more of the pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, really?
I was gonna say, like, everybody knows who Carrie is. Like, you could show my
picture, maybe the picture with the
17-year-old
pig's
son
blood on her, but the picture of her just standing there with the roses.
Not the flowers, no, but her with the blood on it. That's everywhere.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
iconic.
I guess when you look at the blood, that's kind of her like coming out party as a horror villain. So yeah, I guess you guys are right there.
Okay, just real quick, John pointed out in the chat that the second movie that I was talking about is called The Rage Carrie 2.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I have to remember
that was trash.
kind of.
It's a, like I said, it was
it.
never meant to be Carrie 2. It was just a script they've been floating around for years. They brought in Carrie's friend and they changed the title and stuff. I mean, it was.
Yeah, Carrie's friend plays the counselor.
Yep,
the friend that she saved in the first movie, she
Amy
plays
Irving,
the counselor, and she's the one that like notices the things happening with this girl, and puts 2 and 2 together that they're like she's related to Carrie.
Right.
Well,
good movie. Check it out.
Check it out, guys. I think I should check it out. I might have seen it. I don't know, man. After a while, all the horror movies kind of mesh together. I'm sure if I started watching it, like 30 minutes in, I'd be like, I remember this movie, but who knows?
Yeah,
that happens sometimes.
And some of them, like, you know for a fact that you've seen, but you saw so long ago that you can barely remember them.
Those are worth watching again. Because, like, for the off chance, like, oh, I remember this scene, you still don't remember the movie as itself. For the next one, I know it was recommended by JP. I don't know if JP is available to speak about it because I don't know much about it, and
He's sitting right in his chair, so.
Okay, well, you and him take over this one. I got to take a pee anyway, so it kind of works. But I'll be listening. The Portrait
Henry.
of a Serial Killer.
Who the fuck is Henry?
He's a serial killer.
Oh,
like it's a story of a serial killer.
Yeah,
and he does these kinds of things essentially. He's like Hannibal Lecter.
Okay.
Except he doesn't eat people. He kills them, dismembers them, and that's what he does.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yes,
Henry.
Okay.
But that's the guy's name. It's Henry. The name of the
Henry.
movie.
Okay, well, I was just wondering if that was the name of the movie, because if it's about serial killer, you know me.
No, the name of the movie, what did we say?
Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, and they did a sequel.
Portrait of a Serial Killer.
That's what basically said before he went to go pee.
Oh.
Yep.
Sorry, I completely fucking skipped that.
And it's Michael Rooker, too. This was his first big role, I think.
And it was really, it plays the part so well, and he kind of just creeps you the fuck out throughout the whole fucking movie.
It sounds like a movie that I definitely want to watch.
But yeah, I
might have fucked it up a bit somehow.
This guy isn't a sentimental favorite of mine. I just know that his character is considered one of the great horror characters in horror movie lore.
My question to you is this like almost like are there two people involved in these killings and he's one of them? Are there like two guys that go on like some sort of road trip where they kill a bunch of people?
Yeah.
Because while I was looking it up, that's kind of what it made it seem like.
He's teaching.
Oh my god.
The guy he's with is his protege.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Rooker, I know he's kind of pigeonholed now, but he is a really good actor. I've seen him in multiple things. He has such a like distinctive face now that when you see him, it's like, hey, it's him. But he's been good in almost everything I've seen him in.
Oh,
and he plays like a bad person really well.
In this picture, he looks like Sid Vicious.
He does look like Sid Vicious. Holy shit!
That picture there, he's looking at a head. That's what he's doing. He's like
he's admiring his handiwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a part where he's like. Apparently. There's a part where he's videotaped and he's like reviewing it over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the movie itself. I love the lead actor. It is obviously a guy with no supernatural powers or anything like that to save his intelligence, murder skills, intimidation, cunning. But he doesn't have the ability to disappear in mirrors or anything like that. So it's much more like grounded in the real world.
Yeah.
It's it's like JP said. It's like you said, Basement, before you left. It's like another Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, I don't think it's to the same level of like
it's not
intelligence and planning, but it's a look at dramatization of a serial killer.
Right.
But I don't even know when this movie was made. It's relatively old, but 13 kills for like a normal guy is pretty high. So
it came out like 1989, I think.
Mid 80s, early 90s.
I think it came out in 1989.
My question is, if we put this one in there, did we put Woody Harrelson or Juliette Lewis in there for Natural Born Killers?
No, we didn't.
The only reason I ask is because like the description kind of sounds not exactly like that, but it reminded me of it. I think it was just the two people, serial killers, go on the road. That's what reminded me of it. But
yeah, even like you're right, JP, because when I looked at like the kill counts, it was like 13 for him and like 1 or 2 for someone else in the movie, and I was like, so he is definitely the main antagonist, killing people left, right, and center. Tony Todd played Candyman as John Treadway, so I can never remember that guy's name, but his face I'll remember forever.
Yes. I just remember him from Final Destination when he was like the coroner.
That's where I know him from.
He always plays a creepy black man.
Always. Legitimately, I was sitting here staring at his face going, where the fuck else do I know this guy from?
And then he was in
a bunch of movies.
He has a very distinctive voice, too. It's like weirdly creepy. I don't know what it is about it, but it's creepy.
And then he is in Final Destination 3. He plays the voice of the...
he's in all of them.
Yeah, but he's in...
Well, except for 5.
You don't see him in 3 because he just plays the voice on in the roller coaster ride. He's talking like, holy shit, that is him.
He also voiced the Fallen in Transformers.
Yep. He does.
He also turns me on.
So who is Henry facing?
Henry is going up against the old Invisible Man. Oh. I actually watched the new movie, and most of the information on this is from the new movie, though I do have the old picture up there, just because it's probably more what people can relate to.
I've legitimately never heard of either one of these guys.
The Invisible Man movie you might find okay. The new one, it kind of like turns him into more of a fucking
psychopath.
Creep. Yeah. So I don't want to
more of a creep than the invisible guy from the fucking Boys.
So he is more of a creep. The Invisible Man is okay. I'm gonna spoil the new movie if that means anything to anybody, because that's the only one I can talk about.
I don't like what they did with him in the new movie.
I don't mind it so much because they made it though it's still unbelievable. They kind of tried. So in the new movie, he's this guy that works in optics, but he's like super smart and he's building fucking technology left, right, and center. But he's also like this super douchebag that's controlling all of his life in every way. He controls his family, he controls his wife to the point where it's like you can't eat doing this, you can't walk out the house during these times, you can't wear this, you can't wear that. Like super controlling kind of dude. They kind of take it from there. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the whole fucking synopsis of the movie if I keep going, but he pretty much is a fucking creep as fuck, and he fakes his death, and then he just stalks her.
He psychologically tortures her
throughout the rest of the movie. And in like really bad ways is all I'm gonna say. Like really bad ways.
Well, let's see. His attributes on the bottom: mass murder, assault, mayhem, vandalism, psychological torture, abuse, rape, stalking, and so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure he's a really bad man.
Yeah, he is really bad. I mean, in the original, he is still bad, but it's not to the extent.
He's a thief in the original.
Yeah. But he does kill people, does he not?
I don't think he ever killed anybody on purpose. I think it was just an accidental happening that somebody ended up dying with one of his robberies. If I remember the original story right, and also the lore from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, who took from the original story.
I looked at both when I was doing the research, and I'm pretty sure Mass Murder was on both. But then again, it is a database, and who knows the fuck who's adding that kind of shit.
But I think it's just, it made him go crazy after a while, because when you can't touch anybody and you can't have anybody see you, it makes you kind of lose your shit.
Well, he was tormenting her from the shadows, basically, and like,
So
if you watch the movie, like John Cena, that's what he did to Nikki Bella. You can't see me, bitch. Standing there with a lamp on his head. Every time he walks into a room, it happens, but you don't see him. God, he's here. I know he's here. Da 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 da. But he does take it to another level of being like giving something and then taking away. Here's the inheritance, but you can only have this if this is this, and then he kind of like fucks with her constantly. Yeah. So it was a neat enough horror movie, the new one, to kind of like fill that gap if you haven't seen a horror movie in a long time. But as far as the character goes, we've got Invisible Man versus who the fuck was Henry versus the Invisible Man. Henry's a real character. The Invisible Man is not, but realistic enough in the new movie.
To be because of the backstory.
Yeah, in the new movie, it's a suit that makes him invisible with reflective cameras. So the one thing I don't get is, how does this guy have like superhuman strength and speed and agility? They never explained that in the movie at all. The suit looked like a fucking rug.
The experiment he did to turn himself invisible also gave him other abilities.
Well, fuck, man. I mean, the only reason I'd ever want to be invisible is to be a pervert.
To steal things as well. I mean,
yeah, but you still are there.
One of his crimes.
You still have to like. The thing is, what he touches.
You still have to like
invisible.
Hide the item.
Yeah,
because, yeah.
And you still have to know the codes to break into a bank and shit like that.
See this fucking watch floating across the room by itself.
Well, he would sit there, and this is why him becoming invisible was so important. He would sit there and be able to be completely invisible and be able to plan out his robberies by going and stalking the people he was going to rob.
Yeah, you can see the way that they enter the code and shit like that. The only problem is you're going to be on that tape. I guess like it has a huge advantage for the first thing I do is go into like the White House and shit and just hang around and be like, oh, this is how it is. That'd be what I would do. It would be a way, and then I'd go to like a sorority house where they just showered all the time.
God.
But why not create a bag that you carry around with you that is also the invisible suit that you could put shit in? Thinking ahead of this movie. I wouldn't use it to torment some random woman I was with. It's like the worst possible use for that shit.
In the new movie, he's controlling, so he wants her to always be under his thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's I don't know. The movie was kind of weird at certain points.
That's why I don't like the new movie. It just does not make sense in that way.
Yeah. It could have been done better.
With the original lore and made him and brought him back to being a thief, and just updated like the graphics and shit like that, I would have been fine with it.
I think there's like the thing is there's a lot of like message in the new movie, but I don't want to get too much into the fucking movie. Fuck it, we've gone overboard. Invisible Man versus Henry. We've got the real killer, real world version of a killer that murders a bunch of people and dismembers them, talks to dismembered heads and shit like that. And then we've got this son of a bitch who either A is a thief or B uses his powers to torment his ex-wife. I'm going to go with Henry. I don't know about you guys, but that's who I'm going with. I don't know who the chat's going with. JP said Henry, but I will say wait until one other person says something else. If you guys are wondering, Fabe went with the Invisible Man. So we basically have 1 and 1. I'm going to go with Trek first. Tell me who you're going with.
I'm gonna go with Henry because it's so scary because it's like Hannibal Lecter. It's based in reality and that shit can happen with anybody. And Michael Rooker just pulled it off so well, so it's Henry.
Okay, we got 2-1. Heather, who are you going with?
For me, the Invisible Man is always going to have a quote-unquote soft place in my heart because of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and just the 1930s film that portrayed it. I mean, I love the concept of it, so it's going to be the Invisible Man for me.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2-2. Bobbit, you going with the Invisible Man or you going with Henry, baby?
I'm going with the Invisible Man.
3-2 for the Invisible Man. Gina, who are you going with?
I've never seen either one of these, but I'm intrigued by Henry, so I'm gonna go with Henry.
Okay,
We
we've
got a
got
tie.
4-2. So now it doesn't really matter, right? Or is it?
It's
No,
3-3.
No, 3-3. 3-3. So we're looking at the chat. We've got one vote from JP saying Henry. Alpha, what do you think? John Treadway, if you're in there, what do you think? We need one more person to make this decision before we move forward to the next one. I want to look up who the next one is, too.
Alpha's gone back and forth between the two, it looks like. I just need to know for sure which one is your definite choice, dude.
Yeah.
Invisible
Invisible Man for me, because that didn't help at all. We got JP saying fucking Henry and Alpha saying Invisible Man. Oh my god. Okay, so like literally, okay, you look at Henry. He's got a higher kill count. He doesn't have all the fucking tools and gadgets to work with as the Invisible Man. Yeah, the Invisible Man is more iconic, but he seems like a petty bitch. I'm gonna go invisible to torture my wife, or I'm gonna go invisible to steal my jewels. Henry's like, I'm gonna stay visible and just kill people left, right, and center. So I think there's something there. I don't know, unless somebody else in the chat says something. This is gonna be a tough one. Does anybody who has already voted for Henry or the Invisible Man want to switch sides? No.
Nope, I'm sticking with Henry.
Oh god, let's go with Kataka! Someone from the chat say either Invisible Man or Henry. Do it now.
Whether you voted or not in the chat, first one we see is the winner. Invisible Man or Henry.
You already voted.
You don't get 2 votes. Invisible Man, Bobbit is already voted too. This is no bueno. The Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man, John Treadway.
Invisible Man, John Treadway breaks the tie. And we go with the Invisible Man moving forward. Okay. To get away from the Invisible Man, here is the next.
JP's back there. This is a bullshit.
It is.
And yet he was teasing us because we voted for Freddy Krueger last night.
You know what? Okay. That was me this morning. What the fuck? Freddy's dead? This is some bullshit.
Gina turns into Sam Jackson. This is a bullshit.
So bullshit, motherfucker. Okay, we're gonna move forward here, guys. The next big monstrous thing we have is this. And looking at the pictures, it looks horrifying.
It kills a kid. That's when it killed a kid.
Yeah, that was the best part.
Is the Blob the one that was in the lake?
1950 was one.
The Blob was the gum that killed everyone.
Okay, wait. What was the one that was in the lake?
I think the Mist.
No, it was like a big black.
Oh, you talk about Creep Show too? Yeah, it was like.
Oh, you might be thinking about the new. Wasn't there a new Blob with the guy that played fucking Superman?
No. This was like an old movie because I remember. Yeah, I remember watching it. Like my uncle was watching it, and like he did. I was like 7 fucking years old, but he didn't feel the need to turn it off. Even though I was terrified.
They pretty much just ripped off the Blob. It was called like The Spill or something like that. But yeah, it was kind of like that.
Yeah, I legitimately could not go swimming in a fucking lake for like 5 years after watching that stupid shit.
Oh,
but anywho.
I hate him.
JP knows what you're talking about.
So he's a monstrous destroyer. Yeah. The Blob basically, I don't know the backstory to the Blob.
It came from outer space and it popped out of a meteor and it starts just oozing itself all over people. It just kills people.
So it just melts.
This legitimately sounds like the worst fucking thing ever.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Okay, here's my question, because I haven't seen the movie.
Sounds like the dumbest shit.
Do they kill? Is it killable?
You have to freeze it.
Okay.
That's the way to.
So it's
killing
a
everybody.
giant placenta.
We have to freeze it.
It's a giant placenta that moves around and just sucks people in. But
Well,
it's slow moving, is it not?
It's weak. This is cold. So they in the new one, in the '88 one, they did freeze it with like fire extinguishers. They like it was. I haven't seen the '88 one for years. It was really good, but it was kind of a weird ending. But
I agree with Alpha. The one from '58 was better.
Yeah, I like a both.
I don't think I've seen any of them.
I can see where I like a both equally.
I haven't seen any of them either. I know the character.
The whole concept of having to freeze it, like its weakness is being frozen.
Well, I think it's the '88 one so iconic because they killed a kid in the movie, and that was a big no. Back in the day, you don't kill kids and stuff. It's like they're like, we don't give a fuck.
Gene, it's just like with Jack Frost. Just sit there and get a flamethrower. You're fine.
But here's the thing. In 1958, how are you going to mass freeze a giant gelatinous blob? If it hits your town, you're going to lose a lot of people, blobs around. The only thing is it doesn't have a character. It's just an amorphous fucking piece of bubblegum. You know what I mean?
Does he make a noise, or does it just like...
It just
sounds like placenta.
Remember the sound Gak made when it came out of the container?
Yep. Oh, God.
Exactly the sound.
It sounds like a shot of cum coming at you. It's the big cum blob. But look what it does to this guy's face in the picture. It, like, immediately fucking melts.
It's a living entity that is digesting the people it covers itself in.
Yeah. Yep. So it just continues to grow. My question is, how does this thing fucking even exist anywhere? It landed from... So it doesn't necessarily need to digest, but digesting makes it bigger. It must have destroyed whatever planet it came from and then became fucking minuscule on a meteorite or some shit. In the end, it kills 35 people in that town. One of them is a child. Don't forget. And all it really does is mass murder. It doesn't have a personality. It's just a horrible piece of shit.
It's literally a ball of slime.
But what it's going to go up against is this. From our favorite movie, The Mummy. You know it. You love it. There's the original, where the mummy is an actual mummy. There's the Yeti, where the mummy is actually a Yeti.
Jeez.
And then there's the
Brendan Fraser.
There's the mummy with Brendan Fraser, probably the best of the versions. And then there's the mummy with Tom Cruise.
Fuck that. Wait, wasn't like the mummy? Wasn't the Rock the mummy at one point?
He was the Scorpion King.
He was the Scorpion King. He was a spinoff.
Not to be confused with the Mummy because I don't know.
He was the spinoff.
Yeah, it was, and he looked like a.
Well, I was gonna say I knew it tied into that somehow.
He looked like a pile of garbage in that movie.
I really love how underpowered he put Super Hot in the Tom Cruise version.
Because I will not take that back. Yeah, she is fucking stunning, man, in that movie. And they have all like, I won't go into it because it gets into weird sexual fantasies.
Yeah, it's well, in the Kingsman comic book it was a guy, but they had to change her into a girl because too many people got pissed.
Yeah, I mean, it also worked better in the Kingsman for her being a girl with the fucking sword legs. But when it comes to the Mummy, okay, so this is a weird one because the original Mummy is one of those universal monsters, but the iterations that have taken place since then have kind of veered in towards action adventure movies, not necessarily horror. Yeah, it's an undead creature, but how would you describe the movie The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, or even the new one with Tom Cruise?
Kind of like the one with Brendan Fraser, be kind of like Indiana Jones meets Army of Darkness.
Yeah, that's a really
that's
good,
fair.
That's a really good description. And Army of Darkness is on the very tipping edge of horror. So like,
it's more comedy.
It's much more of an adventure movie. As far as the character goes, it's a cool idea. You hear news about, like, I mean, I heard news even now in 2020, they found some old fucking, I don't know if you guys saw this shit, but they found some old...
I did.
And of course, they're out in...
Big mass gravesite?
They're out in public opening this. I'm like, why wouldn't you do it in, like, a secure area so that it doesn't decay?
Not only just secure, but also a sterile environment.
It's going to decay so fast.
The air doesn't destroy it.
Exactly. Right. I don't know what that was.
Within the past, like, 2 or 3 months, they found numerous... It's really weird, because... They found, I think it was like 1 or 2 mummies in one spot. And then like literally like not even 2 weeks later, they uncovered this like mass gravesite over somewhere in Europe and they were all mummies. Like they were all mummified.
It's such a weird practice, but it's that's built into their religion and what they thought at that point in time. But when it comes down to it, the Mummy in the Mummy franchise, was it not Billy Zane, or was it the guy that looks exactly like Billy?
It was Arnold Vosloo.
So Billy Zane, but not from Billy Zane Land.
It was Arnold Vosloo.
I swear to God, those two people are interchangeable.
He does look similar, yeah.
They could be identical twins, just one with a tan, one without.
So yeah, this guy obviously he's on Earth. He comes back. He's got necromancy. He controls those scarabs, and those scarabs eat everything they touch. He's a force to be reckoned with.
He controls everything within Egypt territory.
Yeah, but it does he. I mean, if you look at the Tom Cruise shit, she whatever does have powers regardless of where they are. That being said, much more powerful in the desert because it controls the desert. I don't know. This is like you're looking at what? You're looking at fucking the Mummy versus the Blob. If I had to put the two up against each other, the Mummy can suck life force. So does the Blob, kind of. What the fuck?
The Mummy can regenerate too.
His body,
but the Blob isn't life.
So this is like the thing is the Blob. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. So when the Blob starts, how big is this fucking Blob?
Not very big.
Just about like a
Flubber, like Flubber.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So I mean, as long as you stop it from starting to grow, and if it lands in the desert, it's got no chance. Because I mean, what the fuck's around there? I guess you could eat like lizards and shit.
Yes, but if nobody reads from the Book of Life, the Mummy ain't coming back to life.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm always I'm gonna cast my vote immediately. I'm gonna go with the Mummy because the Mummy at least has a personality. It's a person. It's brought back, but it has goals. It's a person. It's not just a fucking. It's not just cancer because that's basically what the Blob is. Though cancer is terrifying, the Blob it can be terrifying. The Mummy. It just has a villain. It's never. It can be redone. It has longevity. Let me put it that way. The character can morph into something or be a different person. So, just the character has more intrigue to me than a blob, a literal blob. But that's just me. I don't know. What do you think, Gina?
Oh, I'm with you 100%. I'm going with the Mummy, and also I have to pee, so I'll be back.
All right. Whoever wants to go next can. I don't know if you guys want to say more about this or if you want to get to the voting.
No, let's just get to the voting. I mean, we've said pretty much everything that there needs to be said about both.
Also, Brendan Fraser is the best human being alive.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I you know what? I know he might have hit a rough patch. He doesn't look like the Brendan Fraser of old, but I still love the guy, man. He's he's just great. He's just got this innocence about him. So, Brendan Fraser wins this battle for me.
I will say they did take a giant misstep in having his son look older than him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the third one with him, so.
Well, that whole movie was a giant misstep because Rachel Weisz didn't come back, and I love Maria Bello. She's great, but she was not right for that.
I am gonna say the first two were fantastic, fun movies. Like these were like they reminded me a lot of like Indiana Jones.
Yep.
With
that
not
to mention, this is one of the first sequels that actually expanded on the story that you actually wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was definitely a summer blockbuster. But who are you going with?
I'm going with the Mummy.
The Mummy. So the Mummy seems to be taking it. Trek, you have anything else to say against it?
I like the Blob, but I'm going with the Mummy. He's more malevolent, and he's just he can regenerate his body and stuff like that. I know my mom, when she saw the movie, she's like, why can he take out the guy's eyes so you can see how he can regenerate stuff? She goes, well, it's stupid. I'm like, yeah, but it's
he literally stole the other guy's eyes to use as his own.
He also has like history attached to him, where something coming from a meteor is just so. How do we start this horror movie? I feel like someone who's grade 12 that can't read or write is like meteor.
Well, it's like the Blob is it's just like the Blob is just. It seems like it's nature, whereas the Mummy is just. he was just out for revenge, really, and he wanted to rule the world and just take it on everybody else.
Yeah, but just like Gina said in the chat, what do you guys think? I want to know in the chat. I know JP, you're part of that too. So anybody that's in the chat, who are you guys going with before we get to Bobbit? But it looks like the Mummy is kind of the clear winner. Even if we do get to Bobbit and get to the chat, but well, the chat mulls it over. Might as well fucking Bobbit. What do you think, baby? You going with the Blob, or you going with my ass in your mouth?
I'm gonna go with the hot ass mummy.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Did anybody else watch that movie and was like, I would definitely fall under her spell and forget my life? Fuck it, I don't care.
I had the same thought.
Even when they made her look like nasty, she was just like not nasty. You know what I mean?
I bet they took the trailer and they actually put it in the style of Mission Impossible.
JP, that doesn't fucking help.
JP, I'm gonna applaud you and say I'm sorry about Henry, but we've moved on. I hope you can one day move on too. Anyway, the Mummy is the obvious victor here. We're gonna move on to the next, and this is a movie that I watched. That I mean, it got a lot of. It does have a lot of fan base. But I do feel a certain way, if I can fucking find it. I do feel a certain way about it. Did anybody else see this movie, or was it just me?
I've heard about it. It was alright. I saw a little bit of it. It's like, it's not your typical horror movie. It's like they kind of went back to the 80s. I know they filmed it in Michigan too, so.
Anybody else see it? Because I did watch it. I don't know. There was a lot, like, it was pretty popular online, and it's like it was pretty popular when it came out. It's not a bad horror movie, but I will say it's 100% a metaphor for AIDS.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
It's 100% metaphor for rape.
STD demons. So.
It is technically that. It's like it starts off and you sleep with somebody and that's how you pass the curse. So it is AIDS, right? But like the curse shows up rape. It is, but it shows up in creepy ways, like some naked guy on a roof at one point in time. This giant guy with no eyes, and only the person that's been infected with it can see it. But my question is, like, once it kills
STD demon,
once it kills you and you have it, does it just disappear?
You have to pass it off to someone else. There's no other way to get rid of it.
If you're dead, if it kills you and you had it, like in the beginning, it shows this dead girl. Is that the end of it? Then is that just it? It's done.
Like,
it's over?
What if you don't sleep with anybody else?
That's my question. Is he just gonna run through everybody that can't stop having sex, or is one brave soul gonna be like, I guess the time has come for me to be celibate, and then they get their legs turned backwards?
Then they fucking killed themselves.
It feels like that they were trying to set it up for a series because it does seem like it has a potential to have a sequel or two, but they just haven't. They either didn't get enough backing or they're just still working on it.
I'm thinking not enough people watched it, and therefore it didn't even make enough to recover what it cost to make it.
Honestly, I think it definitely made enough to recover because this movie looked like it was made on a shoestring budget, but there was a decent following for it.
JP in the chat says he's gonna vote for whoever this one's going up against.
Here's the thing, okay? It's a sex demon.
It's Freddy coming back.
It's an STD demon. It follows you no matter what. And I remember seeing people online. It's like, oh, to get away from it, say you have sex and you have it, just, your life will be going in planes because it literally just walks behind you and stalks you. It's like, hey, I take a flight to Asia. It's going to take fucking a year to get here, and then I take a flight back. So it's definitely not too imposing. I mean...
And it works on your sanity, too, because if you're the only one who can see it, everybody else is going to think you're nuts.
Freddy is coming back. He's got the money in the bank.
He's got the money in the bank briefcase, yeah.
And he's cashing it in right now. He's not cashing it. He's dead. All right, okay, you guys didn't really see it. It only has 2 kills, too. I find, too, with the newer horror movies, they don't have the high kill count. It's the quality versus the quantity.
Yeah.
Also, there's some weird little midget kid that, burst through the cabin at one point in time for a scare, and I'm like, This is not good for anybody. I think that kid.
Well, that
needs
eliminates
100%
JP
food.
from being a fan.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be a fan of it any better. This is not realistic. Why didn't Henry win?
Well, if you look at it, if you want to go back to quality over quantity, I mean, the original Halloween didn't have very many kills either. There's just a couple of them.
Yeah, I mean, the horror movies they go between few and a huge kill count. Very rarely do we see like middle ground, because like in my opinion, like 10 people killed in one movie is pretty high, but very rarely will we see 5 or 6. Usually it's 2, 1, 0, or 10 plus. But who it follows is going against is this super nippled babe.
Okay, this is a species, and it's this alien mixed with human DNA. She has to mate, and if she mates, she kills her mate, and then she mates enough times, she and her species will take over the world. So it really is a metaphor for AIDS.
Yeah, so you got 2 AIDS against each other. But I remember watching this movie.
Pick these ones, basement.
Actually, this one would actually be closer to Jennifer's body.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is an alien species. It's an alien species that wants to mate, and it's half alien, half human. So it's like this, and obviously the human down there is outside of her oddly CGI face, is an attractive woman, and she just pounds everybody, and she's looking to reproduce to take over. So it has like it's animalistic. But I remember like fucking watching this shit. My parents took me to the theater to watch this when I was too young to see these kind of movies with them. And it was just awkward because there's one point in time where like 100% titties out, and the creature always had these fucking crustacean nipples. Like, look at that picture of her like huge little trumpet nipples.
Well, she could shoot like
And then we wonder why Basement is the way he is.
Mm-hmm. She had powerful tentacles growing out of her nipples.
Well, I like that it says not allowing for the crimes, multiple murders, not allowing you to reach completion.
It's 100% true. She would kill her victim before they. Well, actually, maybe it was after.
No, she would kill him if she got interrupted or if they turned her down. When she did meet the one, she let him complete, and then she killed him afterwards.
But this is another one.
How very generous.
This had a surprising amount of sequels, and I guess I know why, because the alien looks like a fucking sex bot.
Well, she was only in the first 2. Yeah, it's an erotic thriller.
Yeah, and I watched it in theaters at like 11 years old or whatever.
And this is why you are the way you are.
I know. I can only fucking alien. That's all I want in my life. So for sure, Coldbone's going for Sil. I mean, there's not too much to divulge. I feel like this movie, I feel like with Species, it's a bit more of it falls a bit more into like the old tropes of horror movies than It Follows.
Alien fuck machine. That's brilliant.
Because that's what she is.
That's what she is. It's they know what they are.
Yeah, this movie was mostly sold on the sex appeal of the lead. They was 100% erotic, and I love it. So I'm going for Sil. Vote for Sil.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say vote for me.
No, but vote for me to have sex with Sil. I don't care if it's my life. I'll put it on the line.
Jesus Christ. I'll go Sil too.
Because you love her so much?
I mean, she does have some pretty fucking amazing nipples.
Yeah, me and JP are going for Sil also. Bobbit?
Yep.
Anybody?
I'm going Seal because I would totally plow that.
I mean, who wouldn't? Just look at her. Even the crustacean form.
I'm gonna say though, like she kind of looks like stone. But I don't know if I was a dude if I would want to put my penis in that.
Here's the thing. I would just ask her to never change into the alien form. Just stay human. I know what you are underneath, but don't show it to me. So I'd fucking ruin her life.
And then she'll ruin your.
Did Trek say who's going for or no?
I'm gonna go with Sil because I think I was the one who suggested this when we were talking about it too. And it's as for why she looks that way. She was. The reason she looks like that is because she has to change her alien form to give birth. There's no other way to do it. If she stays human form, she'll die.
That's okay. It's 9 months later, or 7 days later, or 1 day later.
It's like an hour later.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gone after that. I'm honestly ejaculation. I'm out. I'm already at the door.
You're already dead.
Yeah.
That's why.
No, I'm already at the door. Later, Sil. I'll see you tomorrow for another.
Another child.
Show me your gigantic crustacean nipples.
The funny thing about this movie is the guy who plays the lead investigator is Michael Madsen, but it was supposed to be Pierce Brosnan.
I wonder why he said
when
no to
Trek,
this movie.
No, he changed
when
it.
Trek,
Go ahead, Gina.
I was just gonna say, when Trek fucking throws out all of these actors' real names, does anybody else get super fucking confused? Because I don't know their real names.
I know who these people are.
Tell me their character names.
I know who these people are. Like Pierce Brosnan, 007.
Well, I know who Pierce Brosnan is. But
And,
Michael Madsen was in like Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, and he was in Kill Bill. He's been on those.
And then, but
he's always like throwing out the actor's real name, and I'm like.
Also, Trek. We specifically asked you nothing about movie studio. Keep it to the movie itself.
Yeah, take your penis out for Sil. We're moving on, baby. The next bad boy we've got is this.
It always makes me fucking laugh with these real names. Like, I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Like, I haven't looked at this properly, but the first time this picture showed up, look at where his penis should be.
Yeah.
What is that? A little jock strap for the actor or something? Holy fuck! But Pumpkinhead is a movie that scared me as a kid. It did scare me as a kid. I watched it with my dad one day when I was too young to watch it, and the design is creepy. The movie might be shit, but the design was at least creepy. So I don't know why he has like big. Look at his shoulder sprouts, whatever they are. Is he supposed to have wings?
They're supposed to be wings, I think, if I remember
right.
Here's
my question. Basement, did you spend like 90% of your time as a fucking child terrified watching these movies?
Yes! My life is horrible.
Every single movie that we have reviewed thus far for this fucking contest, it's always been, I've always watched this when I was just too young to watch it.
Yes, this is what I did.
I watched this when I was 4 years old.
It's creepy as fuck, okay?
Oh my god.
It's creepy as fuck, but look at him in the bottom right. He looks like a fucking anorexic woman looking for a hamburger. I don't know. Pumpkinhead is it did have sequels. I think it had a couple, but it was always like a made for VHS type movie. It wasn't a real big
straight to Red Box or whatever.
But it's scary. Like, you know what? For what it was. Good creature design. It was, it still is in this wheelhouse of a lot of other movies similar to it. 25 kills, pretty solid. Pretty solid.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch it? I'm going to say you didn't.
I honestly can't remember.
I've seen it, but I've seen it.
I'm sure I probably have seen it. I just can't remember.
Well... the only thing I'm looking at is his little penis satchel.
You've seen it, you can't unsee it.
The other thing too is like his body made no sense. I don't know what the fuck he was supposed to be. Pumpkinhead. He doesn't even look like his head is a pumpkin, and it looks like a fucking ball sack head is what I'd call him. Whatever. He evenly tracks the mark.
Couldn't call it ball sack head.
Well, he's got a bigger fucking ball sack on his head than he has in his fucking pantaloons. All right.
No wonder he's so angry.
We could have called him like fucking raisin head or something.
No wonder he's so angry, damn it.
This is who he's facing. An American werewolf in this movie. It was in
that's a good movie.
So it's a man turned werewolf. Another monstrosity that is equally disgusting as it is turning me on. So he's got brute strength, sharp teeth and claws, stealth, not a huge amount of powers. He's a predator, but who isn't this day and age? And
he's a werewolf.
Yeah, but like, okay, here's my question: does he basically loses his whole human side when he becomes a werewolf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As do all werewolves, yes.
No. Twilight.
They can
If you're
flip
gonna
their
sit there and bring
human
up Michael
switch.
J. Fox, I'm gonna slap you.
Twilight
them.
is not real.
Well, you know
Twilight
what? I was
and
actually
Michael J.
thinking.
Fox.
I was actually thinking, like, I've seen this movie and it didn't scare me that much, but it was
No, it
mainly
wasn't
because I was a kid, but I remember Teen Wolf. I watched Teen Wolf like right before this, so for some odd reason, that movie, watching that movie prior to watching this, made me not as scared.
This movie has the best transformation scene, and it's in the 80s, and that's before they had used CGI,
really
and
solid.
it was just pure effects. It was
Hey,
amazing.
does anybody else see
like
fucking
stop motion?
Natalia?
What? Yeah.
Does anybody else
see
see
it.
Natalia a little bit? Like the
I could
fucking
see
Beauty and
it.
the Beast type chick?
I've said this forever. She reminds me of Beauty and the Beast from the early days, and she is kind of this way. This is how she looks during orgasm.
Oh, Jesus.
It's so fucking fucked up too, because like she's a beautiful woman, but I don't understand how she can look so
The
much
thing
like
is,
the Beast.
She's got real high
Or-
cheekbones,
Oof.
and it's kind of creeping me out. Also, in the picture, he's so liquidy. Look how liquidy his fucking face is. Like, why are you so liquidy, bro?
Is he sweating from the pain?
Yeah.
I don't accept that.
I don't know. Basement, do you have anything? Does anybody else have anything else to say? Because otherwise, I'm just gonna put my vote out there.
Yeah, this is not too much of a contest. It's both B kind of movie characters. I'd say the werewolf has a lot more oomph to it than Pumpkinhead. But I'm going Pumpkinhead.
I'm actually gonna go Pumpkinhead too.
Mm-hmm. We got two Pumpkinheads. The chat, put in Pumpkinhead or American Werewolf before we have to sit here and wait on them.
JP said Pumpkinhead.
Mm-hmm. Bobbit, who you got?
I'm gonna go Pumpkinhead.
That's 3 Pumpkinheads. Heather?
It's actually 4 for Pumpkinhead, and I'm going to give it 5.
Trek, who you going with? I mean, you don't even need to chat.
I'm going with Pumpkinhead. That's scary as shit, and he's just a demon who's out for revenge, whereas the werewolf, you feel bad for him because it's not his fault. It's like with Cujo. So, Pumpkinhead.
All right, Pumpkinhead takes the victory, and we're going to move on here. The next one we've got is the Brundlefly.
Oh, God.
Oh, that movie is sick as fuck.
Oh, God.
Look at him. Look at that gift. That's disgusting.
This is from fucking Jurassic Park.
This is why that is a picture of Jurassic Park, and then in the gift he's puking.
I had to do it. He's Jeff Goldblum. He's icon.
He ain't so pretty in that picture.
No, that's when he's spitting up cum. It's after he swallowed the dinosaur's goodness.
This is off of the movie The Fly, right?
Yes. The Brundlefly. It's what it's his
movie,
ultimate end ends up being, which is he becomes a giant fly.
Yeah.
This movie fucking disgusted me.
It was
so
like,
bad.
That's the category
so
I think
gross.
It would be in for horror movies. It's disgusting horror because when he starts losing his teeth and his hair and like that transformation, it shows a transformation though that very few movies do. So I gotta give it kudos for that shit.
For me, it was when he started losing his fucking skin.
Oh.
Like how his skin just started peeling. Oh God.
Yes.
Nope.
How about when he was arm wrestling the biker and he compound fractured his arm?
Yeah, I don't remember that part, but now that you mention it.
His bone came out too. It's like, oh, fuck me.
It's like that movie with Steven Seagal. Or not Steven Seagal. Rambo. Sylvester Stallone.
Stallone.
I'll get to it eventually. But yeah.
I know which one you're talking about.
I mean, he's not necessarily super menacing, but as it goes on, he kind of becomes
disgusting.
Yeah. He's as a human, has sexual prowess, but as a fly, he's got sexual potency. See the difference there?
Heather, didn't you say there's a rape scene in this movie?
If I remember right, yes.
I don't remember that.
It starts out as something consensual, but then he also starts his metamorphosis at the same time.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "No, I don't want this. No, no, no."
Yeah, he becomes sexually aggressive. Before he even starts to like physically change or slightly physically, he looks like disheveled and a bit fucked up during that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's not to a point where he's like super disgusting, but he does attempt to rape. But it is Jeff Goldblum, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, when he fully becomes the Fly, he doesn't really do much damage or anything like that. He does try to like create a family of fucking super mutant flies. So there's that.
I can't even look at this picture and take this shit seriously because all I see, you know that GIF, fucking, what's his name? The other guy off of Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, where he's laying on his chest.
Alan. Alan is fucking laying on his chest. That's all I see when I look at this.
Oh yeah.
That's all I see.
This is the iconic chest pose from our buddy, our pal, Jeff Goldblum. Fucking, what's his face entering my mind? But who he's going against is this horrible greatness. JP's favorite movie, The Lawnmower Man.
Ooh.
It's not a bad movie.
Well, what is your description of bad movie?
Go watch Skyline and go watch Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. You'll see my description. Go watch the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. You'll see my description of a bad, shitty movie.
You see the bottom right?
Yeah, but that was the 90s. I mean, CGI wasn't perfect yet, and it was supposed to look like that because it's Stephen King and he wants it to look bizarre. And he got it.
I don't know. Why is he in like one of those fucking like? Why did they? In order to get into virtual reality, they had to put him in a fucking. What are they called? Gyro? Get some shit like that.
Yeah. I forget what it's called too.
But that fucking thing where he just spins around everywhere. How does he have any control of anything? Fucking. It's like spaceship fucking. Training, man. I don't know. Lawnmower Man. It's like, didn't he only defeat people in like virtual reality and shit like that, or did he kill people in real life? I'm gonna answer my own question and say, yeah, you're right.
I don't remember.
I was waiting for JP to answer. He said he killed people in real life.
Yeah.
Well, he's able to disintegrate objects and people. That's pretty strong. And his only crime is destruction. But is that really a crime?
But let's get these two going up against each other. First of all, this whole thing is about villains, and the Fly was not a villain necessarily.
I don't know about that.
He didn't kill anybody.
But he tried. And he tried to make more fly people. Yeah, but still, it's still attempted murder. You still go to jail for that shit.
Yeah, but then you look at Lawnmower Man, and he's at least got 5 kills.
But how is he killing people in this fucking shit?
He looks like he's fucking
look at his
geriatric shit. But
he looks like he's about to get plowed by 17
he's
men.
not scary at all.
Using telekinesis, JP says. And then look at Law-Abiding Citizen with Gerard Butler. He killed a judge just by making a phone call.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
But don't you love Lawnmower?
I mean,
I'm gonna go with Jeff
Goldblum
because he's the best. I don't care if he turns into a
Lawnmower Man because.
All right, we got one and one. What you going with, Trek? You going with the Goldblums, or you going with Lawnmower Man?
I'm sorry, Gina. I gotta go with the Brundlefly. I grew up watching that movie.
He's not a villain.
He was a sick bastard.
He is a villain. He is a sick bastard. He gets obsessed with his teleportation
He's
shit.
He's not a fucking villain.
He is a villain. He tries to rape a woman. He tries to turn her into a fly and her kid into a fly so they can live together.
He tries to make her give birth to a maggot.
Wannabe villain. That's not a villain.
That's a villain to me. That's a villain. Okay. But, okay, that's fair enough. Baba, who are you going with? Are you going with Lawnmower Man or are you going with the Brundlefly?
I'm going to go with the Lawnmower Man.
Oh, he's tuning it up. How dare you? How dare you speak ill of Jeff Goldblum? Heather, who are you going with?
Even though I was the one who suggested the Brundlefly, I'm going to go with the Lawnmower Man.
How are you changed from this? Look at him! He's Tron. He's fucking Tron! Okay, so right now we are not looking too
3
hot.
and 2.
Yeah.
We're 3 and 2, and JP said Lawnmower Man 2.
Okay, well, fuck you guys.
Hey, virtual reality kills are bigger than puking.
Now, if we do like the best of like sci-fi at some point in time, then Jeff Goldblum would definitely be on there.
Oh yeah, he'd be in there.
I'm joining you guys. Don't talk to me. Don't talk. This is a sham. This world is a sham. Okay. We're moving over to the next a long list of people. Look at this babe.
Ow!
Oh God.
Are you okay, Gina?
No, she's dead. From the popular franchise movie, only one single movie, Get Out, we have the white woman. And she is horrible in that movie, to be honest. She is two-faced.
Aren't all the white people horrible in this movie?
Well, her family is terrible, but she is kind of the
From the movie Get Out.
Yeah, she's kind of like the person that entraps all these black men to come to the house, and they're like, "We're taking brains, bitch."
I like the last crime is she's a bitch.
She is, and you can tell it even from that gif where she's like, "Do you want these keys? No, you can't have these keys." And like at that point, every man in this world wants to be like, maybe physical abuse is the answer. But she is a marksman as well. She seduces her prey, brings them back to the family. They transmute their fucking brains and souls and shit like that. And that's that. She doesn't really actually kill anybody, but I have a feeling that number's kind of deceiving because I'm pretty sure she's brought a lot of people to their deaths. Because in the movie, he uncovers like 10 photographs or something like that of other men that she's brought back.
Isn't one of them his grandmother?
What?
Sorry.
Wasn't one of them his grandmother?
One of them is not his grandmother. That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe there's a scene where he says grandma because he thinks he sees his grandmother. So unless you're using the body or something like that, maybe it's in the experimentation room.
Well, it seems like everybody that they bring back is they're focused on like they're taking black people's bodies and putting the old white people in them in the movie. Mentally.
Okay, I mean, so this movie's super racist, in other words.
Yeah,
well, it was supposed to be like it was supposed to have a message, kind of. So.
Yeah, the message was like,
white people bad.
Well, it was white people taking over black culture and exploiting it, but it came in the form of a horror movie, which wasn't really that scary. It had a couple moments. As far as she goes, she is a fucking bitch. I mean, come on, she's a fucking bitch. She manipulates people, takes them back, acts like their girlfriend, fucking sleeps with them, lives with them for a couple months, and then brings them back to the family to be killed. So that's not good. That's not good for anybody.
You actually started watching this movie earlier.
If you haven't watched Get Out, you can if you want. I found it overhyped, but that was just me because it was overhyped for me. I felt it was an okay horror movie. Whatever. Teach their own. But who she's going against, yeah.
Holy shit.
I'm going to go ahead and say a lot of her skill set is not going to help her.
This is a no contest. I'm sorry.
The thing has acid for blood. I mean, you don't get much more sick than that.
The other thing too is like the best thing. The reason I love the xenomorph as a creature design is they don't necessarily like mate to reproduce. They fucking inject themselves into you with the facehuggers,
well, that's
right?
They make the queens.
Well, it's the facehuggers that like rape you basically, and then the queens.
That's how the queens are created, and then the queens lay the eggs.
The queens, the queens mass reproduce, but my most fascinating thing about the xenomorph is that they take on the characteristics of the host that they fucking infect. So like getting to this point is basically them taking the best part of a bunch of different creatures to become something. Because if you watch like Prometheus and the one that followed it, they were slowly getting towards that. They had gone through multiple different creatures to get to the point
they started
where
that with Alien Resurrection.
Yep.
Alien Resurrection.
Where they cloned Sigourney Weaver's
Yeah, they
character.
did.
Ripley.
And they had that big
Yeah.
baby one at the end that looked kind of weird.
Oh, that was creepy as shit.
Yeah, that one was creepy as fucking shit. But I mean, this is a no contest. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that's going to say otherwise. The Xenomorph is going to rip this fucking girl apart. There's zero chance. I mean, she might be a marksman.
Ellen Ripley survived purely on luck and circumstance.
Yep.
How the fuck is this bitch gonna stand up against it?
That's the bottom line. She is no Ellen Ripley. There's zero chance. Even with her family would die. Rose, I'm sorry, but you are fucking dead, and I think that's unanimous. I don't think anybody's gonna fucking dispute that shit. I don't think there's any way to dispute it.
Yeah.
Unanimous.
Yep.
I mean, I have a personal connection.
Yeah.
I have a personal connection to the first one because it came out the year I was born. It's still one of my favorites.
It is one of those excellent movies, and it like though you can see that it's older, it's aged very well.
Yeah, it's still scary. It's simple and scary as shit.
The next motherfucker didn't scare me. Nothing scares you, you son of a bitch. All right, but
like this movie did not scare me at all.
The Ring, with Samara as the lead villain, was always like one of those ones. This reminds me of in the same vein as It Follows. It's like if you watch the video, you're gonna die. Why the fuck would you watch the video, man? And if you do, then you deserve to die.
It's pure curiosity.
Yeah, but if you do, then you might as well fucking die. Like the video is like, oh my god, I turned it on and it's like a bunch of different weird images. Turn it off immediately. I'll turn it off immediately.
Okay,
that shows nothing.
So somebody hands you a VHS tape and says, destroy this. Whatever you do, do not watch it. Do not watch it because you will die.
I feel like fast forwarding Trek's on his couch, jerking off furiously
you
to
will
this
die.
video.
I am literally destroying that shit. I'm not fucking watching it.
Oh no, I know, but I the same thing. I destroy it, but curiosity gets the best of some people, no matter what.
I'd watch it 100%, and I'd die horribly.
And then you die.
Yeah, but I mean that's because nobody's gonna fucking believe that bullshit. In the end, it's a different take. It's a cool, unique villain. I mean, I would say, kind of like a more intrusive version of the Poltergeist, and it's a curse-based villain.
With you guys.
Yep.
I'm sorry about it.
If I had to watch this thing, I totally would have tried to fuck her.
Yeah, she comes out and you're like, you just take your pants down, and then she rips your body apart and you die grotesquely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing too. She kills you, but like everybody, I remember in the movie, it's like, how did he die? Show me the photo. And he's like, his face is all contorted, and his hands are all fucking
fucked up.
tweaked out. I'm like, okay.
Not only that, Bob, you gotta remember,
disfigured.
Samara is a very young girl in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, she's like 12.
She's also a fucking ghost demon.
Doesn't matter if I'm dead.
What?
I mean, well, that's what a lot of pedophiles say.
That's
what you need.
She only killed 3 people, which I'm kind of surprised about. I thought she would have had a higher kill count, to be honest with you. But then again, it does highlight the deaths are highlighted in the movie, and it's like, oh my god, look at his face, look at his face. But I don't know. She's to me like, I mean, this was always supposed to be a one and done movie franchise for me, and it wasn't, and it should have been, and
it's like Final Fantasy. It's like that did not need 7 fucking movies.
Yeah, you don't need to always continue.
Out, I just think when this movie came out, there were so many better horror movies that came out like right around that same time. Because like, okay, you had what was that movie Ghost Ship? Came out at the same time. You had fucking what was that one where they were in the hospital? Like it was an old hospital and it was fucking haunted. Boo, I think it was called.
Yeah,
that was another good one. Like there was a lot of really good horror movies that were released around the same time, and this one just didn't measure up.
This wasn't bad.
Yeah, but
it
was
really
also,
wasn't. I think it's like dependent on the age group that sees horror in general.
It was also PG-13, so it could reach a bigger age group too.
Yeah, so you had a lot of kids being scared of it, and that kind of upped its value. And
doesn't mean
correct
it's a
me
good
if I'm
idea,
wrong. It is taken. A lot of horror movies are taken from like Korean or Asian
Japanese.
in some form cinema, and they tend to do them. They slap that production value of Hollywood on it, and it turns into something that just loses a lot of its charm as time goes on.
Well, and that they did the same thing with The Grudge, wasn't it? That was like a Japanese.
Same idea. I was thinking about The Grudge being on this list, but then I'm like, hey, no, because it's not
literally
like
all it is
actual
like
thing.
Fun fact: I can make that sound, and it like scares the shit out of Alex every single time I talk to him.
Because you are The Grudge. All right. So who is Samara going up against? We've got, and I had to get a picture of the most recent one because I like me some Dark Universe. We got Mr. Hyde, who is the alter ego of Dr. Jekyll. I don't know, like when it comes to like creatures, like I like the idea of someone having like a monstrous other side, but like I've never seen it used outside of like a device to create a character. It was never terrifying to me, but maybe it's because I haven't paid attention to the right medium for when they've shown it. I don't know. Like Heather, you brought this one forward, so you might be better off for speaking about it.
This goes along the same lines as The Invisible Man, the original. He's a scientist who was trying to create something to better control the violent outbursts of angry patients. This is like the front runner for schizophrenia treatments, and it just went horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
What did he say?
He asked if he was also part of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yep.
Yeah, he was, and he was very reluctant to be so. But when it comes down to it, this is more psychological than anything else because of the fact that it does have those undertones of this was supposed to be a treatment to help people, and meanwhile, it's actually cursed this doctor in a sense. So, yeah. That's Mr. Hyde in a nutshell.
I mean, I will say why I think Mr. Hyde loses for me, but I'm going to say that now. Half the time he's not bad. Even more than half the time he's not bad. Therefore, he can be reasoned with and talked to. It does come out every now and then. Samara has one fucking mode, and that's coming through your TV and killing you. So
as much as I cannot stand Samara, I'm gonna have to go with her
in this matchup. Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like that there hasn't been a good enough iteration for Mr. Hyde, TV-wise, for me to actually care too much about the character. I feel like it's more a character that can have depth for storytelling, less than a character that can just frighten, scare, and kill. But that's just me.
Yep.
All right, Trek, what are you going with?
I'm going to go with Samara, because like you said, Mr. Hyde is only evil half the time. Whereas Dr. Jekyll is very kind. He's just a doctor, so I go with Samara.
Bobbit?
I'm going to go with Samara, but I love for crimes you put loser.
Well, in the fucking Dark Universe he was. It was fucking out of nowhere, it just shows up and does nothing. That movie was absolute garbage, I'm not going to lie.
That's why they don't have a Dark Universe right now.
Yeah, because I mean, here's the thing too. Like, Dark Universe was never gonna work. Yeah, like I don't know who thought up the idea of it going to work, because you have a bunch of like outdated villains, horror villains, that need to be like brought up to a more realistic version of our time. Yeah, people could enjoy them if they tried to portray them the way that they were, but it was never going to work for the majority of people. I think it was.
What year did this come out? I don't remember. Dark Universe. When did that come out?
2 years ago or something.
See, it's in the era of we have to reboot everything as fast as we can. They didn't put much thought behind it.
Without putting the work into actually changing things to modernize them a bit more. I don't know. It was just a misstep, completely, in my opinion.
I mean, it's like I said, they were just trying to do it as fast as they could without actually planning anything out. I think if they had taken the time to actually put the actual lore from like the 1930s, the 1950s of these characters that they were trying to bring back to modern day and remind people, no, this is where horror started.
Yep.
It would have been a lot better.
Well, it's like they saw what Marvel was doing. They wanted their own kind of thing about it, because at the end of, Dracula Reborn or Dracula Untold was really the starting of it. But then Cruz got mad. He goes, well, they don't want that. They want my movie and stuff. So he made them reboot it without that, and that's where it failed.
Well, here's the problem. Like, you look at Marvel Universe, there's going to be interactions with everybody that's involved in it. Mm-hmm. The Dark Universe, how's that ever going to really go? Yeah, there's the couple that can. You want Dracula versus King Kong? Like, what the fuck is that?
No, it was gonna be, if you look at the end of Dracula, it's the old man who gives Dracula his powers, who turns out to be the main villain, that they were all going to come together and fight, which is just... okay.
Like the end game was fucking stupid. That's the problem with that whole thing. And I mean,
if you want it to be Dracula, just do a Dracula movie.
Yeah, most of those characters also have so much history, film history. They don't need to continue it. But I don't see the chat adding too much, so we're gonna move on. The next bad boy we've got is this little fuck bag. Now, that is he's from Children of the Corn, your favorite.
Actually...
I hate you.
I've never seen Children of the Corn.
Yeah, that's blasphemous. That's 100% blasphemous for where you live, in the corn.
I live fucking surrounded by cornfields. Do you really think that that's what I want to be watching?
I love how one of his powers is Dark Powie.
The fuck does that mean?
Listen, I missed the R. Okay, I left out the hard. I left out the hard R. Okay, so he is actually, like, the actor was 23 or something when they filmed this fucking movie.
Seriously? He looks like he's 7.
Yeah, but you can see it when he like talks, because you see like he's got like a lot of like face lines and shit. If that makes sense.
You can see it under his eyes there, and that's still.
Yeah, you can see like not like but he does look like a fucking creep motherfucker.
Well, if you think about it,
I don't know. I can't hear you, JP. You're just yelling into the
If you think about it with the plot of the movie, he was portraying an adult as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
I've never seen it.
He's a preacher. He ends up crucified in the cornfields. That's the way it goes back in wherever he's from, Gina's house. I have no idea how many people he killed, because, like Damien, everything he did was almost like, I'm using my power from a distance for people to do things to kill themselves or do bad things on my behalf. So he's kind of like...
It's the manipulation part of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's even like he manipulates people, not so environments. So it's always getting someone else to do the dirty work when it comes to this guy. Like Children of the Corn, I mean, kids are always creepy. They always will be creepy if they act the role right. And this wasn't a kid acting, but for fuck's sake, he fooled me until I started to see like the actual imagery of the thing. And I'm like, yeah, he's got a lot of like mouth going on there, an old mouth. He's got an old man's mouth. And he was only 23. He looks so much like he looks currently, if he's still alive. Or the last pictures I saw of him.
He should still be alive.
Whatever. He had vandalism, destruction of property, was a little fucking bitch on a Sunday. And he's going up against... I don't necessarily know how this fight would even turn out. One lives on a cornfield.
Would fucking eat him.
Yeah, but he can only operate in the water. And the old man that's a little man can only operate... Well, he can operate in the water, too. If he held a water sermon, he would definitely die immediately.
But that's the thing. That's the only way that he's ever going to die.
Yeah, but percentages-wise, the world is 70% water.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the numbers...
that means that there's 30% of it is fucking land that he can stay on.
I mean, the numbers tell us that...
that he could stay on land.
No! No! They don't! I'm scaring the numbers. What, he's going to stay on land forever? That's very possible. But if he doesn't...
I was going to say it. The rest of us have stayed on land forever.
I've been in the water at some points in time.
Well, yeah, life. I mean, I guess so have I, but you could choose to not go in the water.
Hey,
I mean,
I love for occupation you put, it's a fucking fish.
Yeah, he didn't have an occupation listed, so I just filled it out. But when it comes down to it, okay, so if you were in the cornfields...
Marine psychology?
If you were in the cornfields... If you were in the cornfields, or whatever town Isaac Groner's from, would you be more scared of him than if you were in the waters with Jaws?
I have fear of open ocean anyway, so this would just freak me the fuck out.
That's why, because the water is like not our element. We do not succeed very well in the water.
I'm just gonna say though, like, it depends. Like, because are we talking about like a real shark, or like
it's
a Jaws? Because like
Jaws
was definitely fucking animated and like it was robotic. You could see it.
And so was Chucky, but we can't really go down that path.
I'm telling you right now, if I got in the water and I saw this thing that was like literally fucking pieced together by bolts just swimming in the water, it would not scare me at all.
I think he kept falling apart or some shit because he was in the water.
The whole premise though is Jaws was
a shark. I get it.
A real fucking shark.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a great white shark. I know, but that was just my attempt at a fucking joke. Because like obviously in the movie,
this gif is killing me of him too. Look at him go.
Well, the shark wasn't working. That's why they couldn't. They wanted to show him more, but he just wasn't working. So.
Yeah, you did very much.
Whatever,
they had a hell of a time with that hydraulic system.
I think it was better that it was. The good thing about it is you didn't see the shark as much, so it made it scarier.
But also, I mean, I still will say to this day I prefer them doing physical like animatronics more than CGI, because you watch things like the Meg and it's like from maybe in certain points that works, but when you get to the point where it's like fake as shit, I'd rather look at this and say fake as shit than look at something that computer graphics fake as shit.
And literally with Jaws, it worked because like I remember watching Jaws and like some of the parts where I was like the most scared was not when he came out of the water, like when he dove out of the water or anything like that. It was just in those spots where like you saw the fin.
Yeah.
And
the subtlety to Jaws was
That
it was a masterclass in movie making. I will say when it comes down to it, I mean Jaws is just an animal, but like or a creature, fish, whatever you want to fucking call him. But they do it to a point where he's a man eater. He's going to continue man eating. And he becomes the threat because he is going to continue killing people. It's not the same as like it's just my nature to do this, because they kind of taint him with the fact that he is focused on killing people. Yes. If that makes sense. Yep. I'm going Jaws 100% because I don't care about a 23-year-old that looks like a 7-year-old. But also, like, I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm more scared of the environment Jaws lives in than I am the environment Isaac lives in. And if they were to ever meet, I mean...
The easy way to take care of the children of the corn is set the cornfield on fire. You can't set water on fire.
Yeah, they have to run to the ocean to keep themselves safe. And they're not going to be safe in the ocean.
See, I'm probably going to be the only one on this side of the bracket, but I'm going with the fucking children of the corn, okay? Because I love the ocean. I'm not scared of anything in the ocean, including sharks.
Really?
But I'm fucking terrified of shit that can be in a cornfield, okay? I'm surrounded by fucking cornfields.
So am I.
Come on.
I don't
I'm surrounded
like
by
it.
sharks. That's because you haven't had the chance to be surrounded by sharks. Imagine you were.
But I'm fascinated by the ocean, and I'm fascinated by it. Like, I find sharks incredibly fascinating. I find everything.
You know what? I'm still
in the ocean fascinating.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be in the ocean with. You're so fascinating while it eats my legs off. You're the best. And I try to slump my way back to shore.
I get that, but like that fear level. I mean, I understand that they're dangerous, but that fear level for me is just not there. Whereas, like, for me, walking down a country road and fucking creepy kids running out of a cornfield chasing after me is much more scary.
But here's the thing.
You're a smoker. You constantly have a lighter in your pocket.
You also have a shotgun. I hope.
And I also have bad guns because I'm a smoker.
Just pull out a shotgun. I don't care if the kid's 7 or 23. Just like fucking the creature from the Black Lagoon. All it takes is one shot.
The same argument can be made for fucking Jaws.
I don't know, man. Yeah, but even one spear, you probably
would
kill
it. In the movie, it took exploding an oxygen tank, and it's nothing even that didn't kill it because it came back.
The Jaws was probably supposed to be about a 30-foot fucking monster. Like the extent of how big, even to an exaggeration point, a great white could get.
And that's the thing. Like, Jaws for me, even though he was supposed to be a great white, he reminded me a lot more, like just the sheer size of him that they described. He reminded me more of like a megalodon shark.
Yeah, they kind of
are extinct.
They bridged that, but I mean, great whites can be pretty fucking long at least. I don't know about the face size.
Just recently, they caught one that was 50 years old and like damn near 40 feet long.
Yeah,
well, it was huge.
I think great white sharks, I think they average between like 20 and 30 feet somewhere. The males,
this one was. I seen the exact same article Heather was talking about. This one was like over 40 feet long. Because they said that it baffles scientists.
That is ridiculous. If that's the case, that's like a baby megalodon.
It was a female shark named
the
Queen of the Ocean.
Do you guys ever like? And I know that this is going to take this just a little bit the other direction. I'm not trying to throw things off, but do you ever stop to think that like shit in the ocean that they say is extinct may not be?
It may not be, but like the only way that it could be is if it's super deep, and then the pressure doesn't really allow for big creatures unless they're made of certain substances.
Yeah, but how do we know that there's not a megalodon shark out in the ocean? I mean, the ocean's a fucking big place.
There's no way of knowing. It's just there. At this point in time, I think the chances of someone having run into it at some point, it's possible. Anything's possible. You never know.
Yeah. Anywho, I'm going Children of the Corn.
All right, I went Jaws. Someone else went Jaws with me, right?
JP and I did, and
right.
Alf and Aaron.
All right, so the chat. Okay, so we got 2, 3 to 1. Trek.
I'm going Jaws. There's a scene in the movie where he eats the kid off the raft, and all the blood and gore that comes up is scary as shit. I mean, that's holy crap. I'm going Jaws.
Jaws and Bobbit, though it probably doesn't matter, but I'd like to hear what you say.
I'm going Jaws just because I'm still afraid to go into the water.
You know, that's true. People have legit fears from that movie. Like you're not the first person I met that's like that. So I'm scared of the sharks, where it's like, hey, come on, man. It's like ankle deep water.
Me personally, I'm more scared of jellyfish than I am of sharks.
I'm not really scared of anything in the water. I'm just scared of the water more than I am of anything that lives in it.
Yeah, this movie.
Sheer mass of it.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, I'm okay where I can see land, but if I get to a point where I can't see land in any direction, I'm like, sure hope nothing happens to this boat.
Note to self: don't take basement on cruise.
No, well, that's the thing, is that's different because the cruise ship is huge, so I almost feel like I'm in a city while I'm on water. There's that, but like I've been on water in like a motorboat where you can't see the land. Like it's not great.
I'm the same way. If I'm out in the open water and I cannot see anywhere to go, if I need to get off of that boat, nope. I'll eat a bullet.
So we're gonna move on. Jaws is the victor here. I'm with you, Heather. I will eat a bullet. If I don't have a bullet, I will not drown myself. I'll just wait until something kills me. It'd be terrible. It'd be horrible. But we're gonna move on. Okay, so we've got Gorilla in the chat. We got Alpha. We got Aru. What's up, guys? I hope you're ready to pick some horror villains because we're gonna start off with the next bout, which has us looking at Johnny Depp with razors.
Edward, I love this movie.
No,
he's not a villain, though. This is Sweeney Todd.
He's 100%.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
When you said
I wasn't looking at the screen at the time, so I was thinking Edward
razors in his hands, and he thought Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands. That's
no.
I wasn't looking at the screen either.
Okay, so Fabe submitted Sweeney Todd. Yeah, we thought about the fucking Scissorhands, but he's not a villain.
No.
He just isn't. Like, he even more so, like, than Cujo isn't a villain. He's more so not a villain. And that movie is not a horror movie either.
He's just a tortured soul.
But we've got Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street. He's a barber. He likes to handle razors. He's Johnny Depp. He eats human pie, and he loves to sing. Those four things.
Wasn't this a fucking...
Yes.
Wasn't this turned into a Broadway musical?
It is a musical, but it's also turned. The musical was turned into a movie starring Tim Burton, because honestly, I don't know. I'm assuming Tim Burton led this fucking shit because we've got two of his favorite actors in it. I don't know if that's true or not.
It's him and Helena Bonham Carter, so I think that's true.
Yeah. As soon as you see those two, they've been in everything together. But you have Sweeney Todd, who is the demon barber of Fleet Street, kills people. He gives them to Helen Bonham Carter, who puts them in pies for people to eat. So
to get backstory at when this movie takes place, it's when the plague is just easing up at the end of it in London. So everybody's in poverty. They're all looking for fresh, clean meat to eat and all of that. So they came up with this idea of, let's make human pies.
Yeah, and with the amount of people going to and from the port city, which I'm pretty sure it's based in, they come up with, how do you fill that meat when we can't get meat in? Well, we kill it. That being said, they sing a lot.
And I gotta tell you, it's my favorite song in the whole movie. I'm just saying.
They do sing a lot. I'm not a big fan of musicals. I did watch this movie, however. You know what? At least Johnny Depp's not being 100% fucking Captain Sparrow, which I can get behind.
I don't mind musicals if they have a good storyline behind them.
But yes, the other part of the storyline is Johnny Depp was betrayed by a very popular judge in this movie, who was, if I remember, it was Alan Wake.
I think so.
Professor Snape for Eugenia.
Professor who?
Snape.
I don't think she watched she didn't watch the Harry Potters because she's fucking douchebag.
I did not.
He was the bad guy in Die Hard.
Yeah, that fell off the building at the end.
I was gonna say you said Professor Snake for me, and I'm like, oh. And I'm thinking in my head, Professor I still Snake? Don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
He was Professor Snake.
He was the bad guy in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Okay, I know him.
Yeah.
He was super nasally.
Sweeney Todd, stole his wife, and kidnapped his daughter as well. So,
a bit of backstory for you guys. I didn't know. I watched the movie, but I don't remember. I think while I was watching it, I was obviously jacking off or crying. I don't know, because I don't remember 100% of it. I do remember 50% of the movie. So I was definitely paying.
Wait, did you watch it alone or did you watch it with a female?
That could be the problem. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say 100%. If you watched it with a female, your brain was somewhere else.
Yeah, it was Netflix and chill. Hey, this is pretty good. Immediately, my dick's somewhere else. But that might have been the case. I mean, still, the one thing, if you want to get me to watch fucking musical, put it in the horror land, a horrorscape of some form. So it wasn't bad. Johnny Depp was to his zenith of being super annoying at this point, and it kind of helped his self-image, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it didn't. Fuck him. But he's going up against your buddy, your pal, all of our favorites.
Oh boy!
Here we go.
We got slasher versus slasher. We got Ghostface from the Scream franchise. Here's the thing with Ghostface. He's portrayed by 18 different people.
Yeah.
Though he is one entity, I guess, so fuck it. I don't know, when I look at, when I was looking this up, it's look at all his powers and shit like that. I think that all of those powers are arguable for who's putting on the mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
because he though. But the thing is, it doesn't matter because when you watch the movie, they don't really portray a difference in the fucking. Once they put on the mask, they become all of those things.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, because of Scary Movie, I see this and I just instantly think of what's up.
Yeah, but that's not even from the movie.
Oh God, what's up?
I have this mask. I actually got it 2 years before Scream came out.
This looks
Guys,
like
am I
a poor
breathing really heavy in
prostitute
my mic?
in Hungary.
Am I breathing like really heavy in my mic? Because
No,
Gorilla said
I-
someone.
I heard some sort of death rattle earlier, but it went away.
Well, I apologize because like I'm dealing with a cold too, so like I'm having a hard time fucking breathing because my asthma's going nuts. So if I breathe into the mic, please just let me know and I'll move the mic away.
Fine to me. I don't notice anything.
I heard something at one point in time, but then it went away, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so we've got Ghostface Killer versus the man, the myth, the legend, Sweeney Todd, which is not really the man, the myth, or the legend. It's Johnny Depp versus a multitude of people in a black suit. When it comes down to it, I mean, I look at it this way. At least Sweeney Todd is one specific character, and he's got motivations. Where like Ghostface is a multitude of people. All of the I can hear whatever it is now. Yeah. It sounds
Okay, that's not me.
Yeah, it's someone else.
Because I can hear that.
Yeah, there you go. That's what people were hearing. So.
Okay.
Please keep breathing, says Carla Strong. Hold your breath for the rest of everything. I don't know. What do you guys
Asthma's
think?
been acting up so bad, so I'm trying so hard not to fucking like into the mic.
The one comparison I will make between these two movies is Scream has always been like a meta slasher, kind of existing in a place where like, oh, we're gonna poke fun at the franchise we are, and Sweeney Todd is kind of the same way because it is what it is. It's a musical that's also a horror. Yeah, I don't know who that is, but someone is 100% on life support.
But you know what?
Shrek,
Though, like,
actually, he just lit up.
I think.
But keeping my breath away from the microphone.
But you know what? Though, like, I will say this. I don't know why, but every Halloween season, I have to watch all of the Scream movies.
It's a lot of Scream movies.
You gotta watch another one because they got another one coming out next year.
Yeah, they got another one coming. I seen that, but like, I have to watch all of them, and I don't even fucking like them. I don't know why, but it's just like a tradition that I have to watch all of them.
I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen them like, 1 and 2 especially. I have seen so many fucking times, but it's just like it's become a tradition for me. So now it's like every Halloween, sit down and watch Scream movies.
Well, I mean, I'm going to say I don't need to watch the Scream movies. I might be okay with watching 1, 2, and that's pretty much it. But they are decent. I mean, it's weird because Scream is like a movie that's, like I said before, like pokes fun at itself while it's doing what it's doing, which is kind of cool.
It pokes fun of horror movies, which is what I love about it.
Yeah, and then it does the exact same thing with poking fun at for the most
part. But like in Scream 1, when she's like, when she answers the phone and then she's like, "Oh no, am I supposed?" Or no, she's not. She didn't answer the phone. Sorry, she was in the garage, Rose McGowan, and she's like, "Oh no, Mr. Scary Man," It's just constantly fucking making fun of horror movies, but then she does exactly what she's making fun of.
Yeah, it has that like meta, whatever you want to fucking call it, with within the Scream franchise, and they keep that true throughout. When it comes to Sweeney Todd, I mean, this is a weird one because they have similarities, but I'm going with Ghostface. I know it's multiple characters, which distracts, but it's also multiple characters for multiple movies. I don't know. I'm so close. No, you know what? Fucking what's Sweeney Todd? Who are you going with, Truck?
I'm going with Ghostface because this is actually one of the first ones I ever saw in the theater, and I thought it was just a good concept and stuff. Like you said, it can be anyone, but that's why it's so scary. You can put on that mask and you could be anyone. They're not gonna know who the hell you are.
That's true.
So I'm going with Ghostface.
Gina?
I'm going with Ghostface. I don't know enough about the Sweeney Todd thing. Like, I've heard it was a musical. I've never seen it. But even I feel even if I did, Well, I was gonna say, like, even if I do see it, I heard the musical was really, really good, like the Broadway version. But even if I did watch it, I think I feel I'd still go Ghostface.
Yeah, even though, like I said, Sweeney Todd, I want to say Ghostface, but I'm sticking with.
I mean,
Todd.
Ghostface. It's just such a fucking like. It's one of those like solidified characters in the horror genre now.
But I also feel like Sweeney Todd never struck me with any form of fear. Which just this is the character and that's cool. Where Ghostface, because it could be anybody in a mask that kills you. I don't know. Neither of them really make me fearful, but there's a bit more of an edge towards Ghostface. Bobbit, are you going with Ghostface or are you going with Sweeney Todd?
I'm going Ghostface.
Goddamn right you are. Heather?
I'm going Sweeney Todd.
So we got 2 for Sweeney, and the rest for Ghostface. Let's see who Fabe went with. Fabe went with Sweeney Todd. So we're close. We're
3 and 3.
What are we? 4 and 3 or 3 and
3 and 3?
Oh,
3 and 3.
3 and 3.
So we need to see what the chat goes with. Gorilla, Aru, anybody else? Alpha, JP. We got 1 for Sweeney Todd. Acid. Anybody in the chat? Who you guys going with? You are the deciding vote. We got 1 Sweeney Todd. We'll at least let 2 come in if they're the same, or 3 come in if they're different. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like Scream's getting rebooted again. Sweeney Todd is always going to be a one and done, but that's because that's okay with the.
The thing is, like, I
go with the story that was Sweeney Todd. It had to be a one and done.
Yeah, and I feel like Scream has just it's been done too many fucking times. In that in itself is also kind of funny because the Scream movies make fun of, like, what is it, like Scream 3 or 4? They're making fun of because there's that other like, what is it called, slasher or whatever, the one where they're in Hollywood.
I actually feel like
and there's like, it's like Stab 56 or something like that.
Yeah, they get a bit too like over the top with them kind of being like fourth wall breaking, and it's not only that; it's the fact that the scary movies came out and kind of poked fun at them too. They've had like a lot of fun being poked at the franchise that they're poking fun at, but poking fun at their franchise. So I mean, it is what it is. In the end, Sweeney Todd takes the victory, guys.
Yeah, Aru said 2, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's 2 girls.
He was talking about Scream 2 when they did the Stab movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
But we've got 2 for Sweeney Todd, so we're gonna move on. The next bad boy on the list is Gorilla Strong's favorite. This guy from the Terrifier, Art the Clown. I have not seen this movie.
Hang on a second. That doesn't add up. It would make it 4-4.
No, it's 3-3, and then the chat went to 4-3.
Because he counted, because Faye voted for Sweeney Todd as well, Bobbit.
Well, yeah, but then Alpha came in and voted for fucking
Sweeney Todd.
Scream.
Yeah, but that was late. I've already moved on.
Well, and not only that, but we have both JP and Gorilla saying Sweeney Todd, so that would actually put Sweeney Todd 1 ahead of.
Yeah.
And then Sweeney Todd 5-4.
Yeah. The demon barber of my penis. Okay, we've got Art the Clown from Terrifier. I've never seen the movie. The thing is, I always looked at it and I was like, it's a B horror movie, whatever. But then, like, when I was looking up like gifts for this movie, this fucking guy is creepy as shit. Whoever plays the role of
because it's the clown.
Yeah, but just like the change in emotions is similar to what never mind. It's similar to what any really good horror villain does, going between like psychotic and just normal, or sad and happy, that kind of stuff. It was really, really creepy. I don't understand his powers though, and hopefully Gorilla can make sense of them. What the fuck is hammer space?
I have no idea.
I have no freaking idea.
Yeah, I mean, this guy had a huge amount of powers. He's obviously a creepy ass fucking clown. He doesn't speak at all, but he's very emotive face-wise. He's a child murderer, mass murder, mutilations, kidnapping, sexual harassment, vandalism. He's got a lot of problems going on. But is he the main villain in Terrifier? Because Terrifier was like a short story beforehand. I don't know the history behind it, and I wish I did, because that would probably help immensely for me deciding over whether he's going to beat his opponent or not. I might end up going with him, but we don't have. I mean, do you guys have a lot to say about fucking Clown, Art the Clown
I've
from
actually never
Terrifier?
seen the movie.
I've never either. What about the design? The design at least is pretty cool. He's got a little top hat. He looks like he's wearing a condom over his body. He's got a bit of blackface underneath, which ain't good, but. Gorilla Strong says it's just a creepy ass movie. I need to watch it because I saw the clown. I'm like, immediately I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch a clown movie because clowns and me don't get along too well. But we will see who he's facing here in just a minute as I pull it up. This is a movie I did watch.
Oh, yes.
I mean, here's the thing with Jeepers Creepers. What the fuck was the name of the movie? Jeepers Creepers. Okay, so they had this guy. He like, I mean, even from the GIF below, he was like oddly liquidy. He's a demon, and he operated out of like a fucking house on the middle of the road, right? This is the movie where they're on a school bus or a bus of some form, right?
Yes.
Am I right in that thinking?
Yeah, there was a couple of them. They've done 3 of them so far.
Yeah, but this main one was the first one I watched. It had Justin Long in it. Creeper.
Yep.
The thing is, it's cool design, but they kind of like hammed it up. I always felt like Jeepers Creepers was slightly hammy, like slightly parody-ish. I don't know. It might have just been me. I feel like they kind of like had a comedic cast with like a villain. Okay, well now someone is on life support.
I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom, but I vote for Creeper.
It's usually how I sound before I go to the bathroom too. He was working out the demons. Yeah. What did it, Gorilla Strong in the movie? His truck his license plate said "Just eating you" or some shit like that, or "I'll be eating you." I'm like, oh my god, this guy got like this demon creature somehow got a personalized license plate. So that's where the like comedy fucking bits go into the creeper, I guess.
And JP's right. In the first one, it was just a brother and sister that stumbled upon his property.
It was Justin Long. He was in the first one, right? Unless I'm thinking I'm wrong with
yes.
that. Yeah, but was it just? I swear it was like more than. Yeah, they were driving by. More people got involved. Eventually, there was a bus. In some point in time in this movie, there's a bus. Is all I'm saying. A bus does get involved. Well, I guess I'm wrong. Anyways, he's got these big like dog flaps on his face. He looks like a bloodhound, and the fact that he's like kind of goofy, even though he's not. I don't know. I mean, this is a tough one because I know more about the Creeper than Art the Clown, but like just watching the GIFs of Art the Clown alone, I almost want to go with him because he goes from scary to serious to scary, where this guy goes from scary to smiling like he just took a shit in his pants.
And JP says the bus was the second one.
Yeah.
Because that was a group of teenagers together. I think they were from...
okay.
I felt like they all melded together for me. Those two movies.
They kind of do because it all follows the exact same kind of storyline, just different people.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, I am going to take the risk. I'm going to go with Art the Clown, because Jeepers Creepers never really stood out to me as very scary. I mean, in the first one, he was portrayed more villainous than I think he was in the second. But even then, he was like, "I'll be eating you," fucking license plate and bullshit. I'm like, I don't know what this.
Yeah, they should with Jeepers Creepers. They should have kept it as a one and done. But that's 99.9% of movies that have a sequel out there.
Yeah.
But I will vote for the Creeper because with the first movie, he grabbed me. So
We got 1 and 1. Okay, Fabe went with
we got
Art the
2 and 1
Clown.
because Trek voted Creeper.
Did he?
Yes.
Okay, so 2 and 1. Okay, Fabe went with the Clown, so we're 2 and 2. Gina, are you going for Art the Clown or the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers?
I missed most of the conversation because my daughter fucking decided to wake up and start talking about, "Look, mommy, look what I found," and there's nothing in her hand. Just
it's creepy.
Based on what I heard, and the look, I'm gonna go with the Clown.
Okay, so we got 3 to 2. Bobbit, who are you going with?
I'm going with the Clown because of what the director of Jeepers Creepers did.
What did he do? Fuck kids or something?
He fucking molested so he did a movie before Jeepers Creepers called Clown House, and the director molested the lead kid actor in the movie. That's why that movie will never ever be released on DVD.
I guess that's why he made Jeepers Creepers afterwards, because he was a creeper and he molested children.
So ever
That's
since
the
then,
real
I
horror
will not
story.
support anything that he's done, including Jeepers Creepers. I used to like that movie. I fucking hate it now because of what he did.
Yeah, I didn't know the true terror behind the story. But it doesn't matter, because Art the Clown has become victorious, and we're closely approaching the end. We only have 3 more, so we're going to move on quickly to the next. And the next is one that Gina brought to light, which was the movie Christine, about a car that kills people.
Did bring this to light?
You did.
No, I didn't. Somebody in the chat did, and then I started talking about a movie that wasn't even fucking Christine. Kurt Russell.
Talking about Maximum Overdrive.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember hearing Christine from someone.
Yeah, it was in the chat.
It was me.
And then somebody. Yeah.
Christine.
Because the reason why I wanted Christine on here is because it was a car that was possessed by a demon.
And I still want that fucking car. It's a beautiful car.
Yeah,
that car was fucking beautiful.
Nice vehicle.
Plymouth Fury.
I'm just thinking of the amount of cars they went through to make this absolutely great movie. Okay, so we've got a car. It's got regeneration, tremendous horsepower, which is always good. Corrupting influence, the ability to operate autonomously. So nobody needs to drive this motherfucker. It has done 0 homicides and mass murders. I don't really know.
Not only that, but the guy who drove it, Artie, you could see his character change throughout the movie because of the car.
Yeah, the car it corrupted him. So anybody that drives the car, it corrupts them. So Christine is this big red beast of a vehicle. A boat, one would say.
Possessed by a demon in the factory and kills somebody while it's still being in the process of being made.
Yep.
And because it can regenerate as a car, what the fuck? I mean, then again, it's a car. So go to the water, it can't follow. Go up a steep cliff, it can't follow. So there are ways around this motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. But who is Christine going against? None other than the babe of the horror franchises, Little Sam from the movie Trick or Treat. Has anybody seen this movie? I've seen this movie.
I have.
I have not
a while ago.
It's really good.
It's not bad. It's a collection of short stories. He is a common theme throughout, but I think he shines towards the end of the movie where they kind of put some light on him as a character. I mean, he is a demon, and when they take off his hood, he looks like someone I went to college with. I mean, I'm sorry, whoever you are out there, but you had that face, and you know you did. It wasn't good. It was fucking disgusting. But he's true to the name of the story, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he asked for a trick. Asked for a treat, and if he doesn't get one, the trick is like, I'm gonna kill you.
Okay.
He's
Track?
the spirit of Halloween, and if he catches people slacking off on Halloween, like
or not celebrating, right? Like turning off their lights and not giving out candy, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he comes afterwards, so he's a vengeful spirit. He's kind of like we talked about this a little bit before we went on the air yesterday, that there's the one woman who, as soon as Halloween's over, she goes down and takes everything down because her parents hate it. So it's just like he's watching you. He's always watching, and if you're fucking around or screwing up, he's gonna come kick your ass.
He's like a child Santa Claus. He kills people. But he's so adorable, isn't he?
He's only killed one people, Faceman.
It was at the end of the movie, so they led up to it. But he's also getting revenge for children who were special needs, who were driven into a quarry and left there for dead. So he's helping them get revenge
God
too.
Damn it! Now you gotta hit me with special needs kids. Now you made me exactly, Heather. You made me care about him. Fucking Christine's just a car.
So he does.
But this motherfucker be out here saving fucking Detective Downs. What the fuck?
He does avenge a busload of mentally challenged kids in some way that are like strapped to shit, and they go down into the ravine. So he does avenge them, but that's like a good thing. My question is, if a car ran him over, is that the end of him?
No, he's regenerative and he can come back. He's the spirit.
But I mean, here's the thing: like, no matter what these two shall never really meet, and if they did, Christine would just run him over and continue. Because Christine is just an entity as well. He's not gonna be like, trick or treat, bitch. He's like, fucking run over his mashed potato head. I don't know. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's hard to put Christine against anything else and have like a logical argument. But when it comes to this, it's just a kid getting run over by a car. He might live afterwards, but he's never going to be able to get anything out of Christine. So I'm going to go with Christine. That's my reasoning. I don't know about you guys. You guys can say.
Christine all the way.
My vote's for Christine.
All right, we got 3 Christines. Trek?
Christines?
Christine, I'll go with just because she was evil little bitch of a car. I mean, Sam isn't really evil. He's just trying to get revenge on people who are not celebrating right or just treating people like crap. So he's not really a bad guy. So I'll go with Christine.
Well, I don't know if he's not really a bad guy. You didn't celebrate Halloween. Time to tear out your face.
Yeah, but Sam kind of won. I mean, he won my heart with the whole saving the handicapped kids. But still, Christine.
Yeah. Bobbit, is it going to be Christine? Or are you going with the bad boy with heart of gold?
I'm going Christine because, it's a car.
Yeah, that makes sense for Bobbit. He loves his cars.
And like you said, Bobbit, you can see the way the car changes already over time, too. So it really has an influence over him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he drove the car, he would be corrupted, too. But he not. Who knows?
Yep.
But we're going to move on because Christine took that
You know
one.
what? I'm sorry, but it just occurred to me that we forgot one. And obviously, we're not going to Adam. I just want to honorable mention. Nobody said the fucking kill from the hitchhiker.
Who?
Remember that movie? Wasn't it called The Hitchhiker?
Hitcher.
The Hitcher. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Nobody said that guy from that movie. And he's like a fucking iconic one.
Yeah, Rutger Hauer.
There's also
we missed him in that one. But
from the movie Rubber, it was the tire that killed people. There's also the bed that killed people.
I hate you.
There's a bunch of ones that we missed, but that was definitely one.
Yeah, but the only reason why I brought it up was because The Hitcher was that was a huge fucking movie back. I think it was made in the 70s, and then it was remade 80s. Again, and it was and it was huge.
Gina, I love what you typed to the chat. .m no.
That was my fucking gut that did that shit. Actually, technically my blanket, but you know.
Well, we've moved forward anyway. We have forgotten many along the way, but we end up with the Babadook. Has anybody seen this movie beside me?
No.
I've seen a little bit.
Okay, so the Babadook is introduced into the movie through a child's book that they find, and it just escalates. I mean, it has a bunch of metaphors in it for like single mothers kind of type deal. But it kind of... Sorry?
It fucking terrified me. This
movie
it
is actually pretty fucking... It's pretty fucking good when it comes to horror movies. It's one of the better ones. I mean, you wouldn't really take it from the little gift there in the bottom, but the reason they do this movie so well is because they introduce him over time. Similar to how Jaws does it, there's things that aren't pinpointed out by the... Like, there's a point in time where we haven't seen the Babadook. It's only been alluded to. Weird things are happening. She goes to talk to the police at some point in time for something. I don't know if it's about the Babadook or not, but it's in the background, you can see his whole get-up, his trench coat and his hat hung up on the thing. They do stuff like that, so psychologically, if you're an attentive viewer, you pick up on it. It's pretty cool. I mean, not to say, like, I don't think this movie had a great budget, but it does a lot with the budget it has, and it is like a single mother and her kid's kind of fucking asshole.
I think that's why it scared me so much, was because, you know, obvious single mother with the kid. And at the time when I watched it, I only had Austin. So, like, just her having single mother, one kid, I related to it too much.
It's a relatively frightening movie. You know what? It was a gem for me because I didn't expect much of it. And when I saw it, I was like, whoa, this is better than I thought it would be.
You know what, Basement, if you've never seen the movie Boo, that's right around the same. It's like right along the same fucking... You'll be impressed. But anyways, sorry, I keep on steering off.
When it comes down to it, you guys that haven't seen it, you should probably check it out if you have the time to do so. You may like it, you may not. I'm not going to hype it up too much. Like I said, it's a relatively low-budget Australian movie. But at the same time, I think what they do or try to do, they do pretty well. They do try to convey like meaning behind the horror, which I think they do pretty decently in this one. So if anybody out there like to get out for its message beyond the movie, this is one of the ones that I think would do that as well. But we're going to see who this motherfucker's up against. We've got another movie that hopefully I am not the only person that saw because it was kind of fun, stupid.
Oh my god, yes.
There's a couple of things I liked about this movie. I'm not going to lie.
I'm just going to flat out say it was so bad it was good.
It knew what it was doing. It knew it wasn't supposed to be great. But I do like the character's design in the movie. In the bottom right, you can see it. He's supposed to be like this folklore demon for fucking Germans or some shit.
He's evil Santa.
Yeah, he's evil Santa, basically. But like his whole thing, I mean, okay, and this is kind of deceptive. The kill count, that's 12. He doesn't really kill people. He captures them and puts them in like snow globes to live forever in the same... day over and over and over again. So it might as well kill them because it's the same idea.
So he Bill Murray's them?
Yes.
He does, but they have no chance of getting out. And it's always during the holiday season. And he has this ability to like turn... He brings demonic toys with him. Like Jack in the Boxes and shit like that fucking capture kids. The one thing I will say about this movie is it doesn't pull too many punches because in the end... Spoiler alert, Krampus fucking wins. Krampus always wins. But in the end, they end up in a snow globe, like always. I mean, I like it has backing historically with a different culture than our own. But I also think they do there's another movie I thought of now that we missed out on too. But I'll talk to you guys about that later. Krampus is not really menacing. I mean, he looks menacing, but most of this movie is his fucking toys killing people.
Nice.
Well, even in the German folklore, Krampus himself is not the menacing one. It's the gifts he brings.
Yeah, he's evil Santa. That's exactly what he is. And he's like a goat man type deal. He's disgusting looking. That's all I'm gonna say.
Would I be a horrible parent if I threatened my children with Krampus this year if they're not
First,
good?
you got to show them the movie so that they ruin their lives.
Oh God, no! Why would I?
Don't show them the movie. Show them the actual pictures of the German folklore for it. It's even scarier.
Oh,
it's way worse. But
Jesus,
I do like the creature design for Krampus. They kind of make him into, like in the movie, they make him into this hulking, malformed Santa with chains all around him. So that's kind of neat. But we don't really get to see him do much except for like eternal damnation for the people he's talking to. I mean, that being said, I mean, I've seen both of these movies. I think Krampus is more fun because the movie kind of portrays it that way. Even though he's like, the fucked up thing is the movie portrays fun, and then like everybody dies, basically. So it has its mixed moments of like fear and fun. Where when it comes down to it, the Babadook is much more based in reality. It has a lot more to do with the metaphor of certain things that people go through. That's a tough one actually for me because deep down inside, I want Krampus to move forward. But I know full and well that the Babadook is actually a more scary villain. So I'm going to go with Babadook.
I agree. I'm going Babadook as well.
And so is Okayfabe. We got 3-0. Bobbit, who you going with, baby? Babadook or Krampus?
Yes, I'm for the Babadookie.
Babadookie on your face. Though it doesn't really matter. Heather and Trek, who you guys going for?
I'm going Krampus, as is JP.
Oh. Double entendre.
Trek, it's up to you.
Trek?
I'm going Babadook.
Yeah. In the end, Krampus took shit all over his own torso. And Krampus wins. And we are at the last one for this evening. It's taking a long time.
You mean Babadook wins, right?
Yes, sorry.
Babadook, yes.
That's what I meant to say. Did it come out the opposite?
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Yep.
So...
You really wanted Krampus to win.
Mentally. That's all I can think about.
You're saying this is the last one? That only puts me at 15 for this round.
No. You lied to me. You lied to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Dog?
Who'd I miss then?
I don't know, someone.
I got Slender Man, Candyman, Invisible Man, The Mummy, Sill, Pumpkinhead, Lawnmower Man, Xenomorph, Smara.
Oh, you missed. Oh, we actually missed one. You didn't miss one. I missed one. So we're gonna start with that one next. Oh my God, we didn't answer. It never ends. Okay. We're going with you know him, you love him. My favorite iteration of him is Leslie Nielsen. But here we go with Dracula.
Oh, yeah. I think Leslie Nielsen is everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed Blackula. I'm not gonna lie. But Dracula is out there killing it. I didn't really know which iteration to go with, so I think we can use any iteration we want when we discuss. Not all of these powers are going to be the same for every version, but Dracula is a very iconic horror villain, and I honestly think he's probably the most lethal of the ones that we have on this list, like between Frankenstein and Black Lagoon, like the old Universal monsters. This guy is probably the big daddy of them, in my opinion, that we have on here.
Actually, there was one before him that he was taken from.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, I mean, you can even use that as an extension of it. It's the same. I mean, the only reason I went with Dracula is because I think Dracula is the name that everybody.
He's more iconic than Nosferatu because
everybody used to the name of Dracula.
Nosferatu looks like Dobby from fucking.
He does.
But okay, so Dracula, he's the Lord of Vampires, obviously. I don't know why it's the strength and speed of 20 men. What if they're 20 weak men or paralyzed men? Then what? Shape-shifting, size-shifting, passing through small cracks. Who hasn't done that? Mesmerizing influence, psychic control of his thralls, and he turns a lot of the women that he's interested in into thralls. So there's that. He's kind of a pimp. Command over feral beasts, complete night vision, can crawl on walls. Cool. Dark magic, necromancy, and immense intelligence. Plus, he's rich as fuck. He owns a castle, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like Dracula has the ability to transcend time as a character if they do it right. I did see,
Absolutely.
I think it was Netflix that tried to do it, and I did not. No. The first episode, it was a 3-part miniseries or something. The first episode was alright, but then after that, they went into some sort of weird SJW realm.
Yeah, it was like
Well,
a
of course.
BBC thing, I think.
Yeah, it was
Netflix.
BBC.
Do you expect anything?
No,
anything
it
else?
was BBC's
Right?
very along the same lines as Netflix. It's like, oh, these are the hot topic of the month. Every movie, TV show we do needs to have fucking twins attached to the hip because that's what people care about today. But that's kind of what it was. I mean, as a character, Dracula is. He's scary. He's a scary character. Is like his abilities are ridiculous, and the fact that he can create a brood of fucking monsters.
But if you think about it, I know that there was one that came before Dracula, but Dracula is like kind of the anchoring stone for every vampire that we have gotten after.
Just OG.
You know, so like we wouldn't have had Lost Boys, we wouldn't have had fucking the fucking Vampire Diaries, all that bullshit.
Buffy.
We wouldn't have even had fucking Twilight. We wouldn't have had any of that.
Buffy and Angel.
I could have gone without Twilight, but
what, you don't like
literally all of those vampire stories date back to Dracula. So
I mean, I will say Dracula as like a character in general for horror is a really complete character. He has weaknesses because they have to have that for a chance to defeat him, but he's immensely powerful, especially when you look at like the old school type of horror villain. That being said, I mean, Blade would kick his ass. Wesley Snipes, tax evasion. But I still think, I mean, Dracula is one, like we said, or like I said at least, of the old guard of supervillains, Dracula, in my opinion, is the best. And like we can't take into account the giants like King Kong and Godzilla and shit like that, because then the kill count is a whole city, but they're just
literally millions of people.
That being said, 91 kills for Dracula is up there. It's pretty solid. He's got a good kill count. He's creepy, and once you fall under his spell, that's all you're gonna do is get drunk. He drinks you, and if you're lucky, he turns you into a vampire. But who he's going up against is just one of my favorites.
Oh yes, mine too.
Oh, this is creepy as shit, man.
This is, in my opinion, a creature that is somewhat comparable to the Thing, where it's an alien creature. Or sorry, comparable to the Blob, where it's an alien creature. But it has just... The movie, first of all, is fucking amazing. Special effects are fucking amazing, and still to this day, the Thing with Kurt Russell is primo fucking horror, because it's psychological as much as it is grotesque. You've got an alien creature that can basically take it like fuses with the creature that it kills. So the creature, it basically, okay, so in the beginning of the movie, so say it kills a person, it kills them, grotesquely or whatever, but it fuses with them, brings them back to life. It also has all their memories, it basically has everything that made them them, so it assimilates into that area and just continues to spread, killing people. There is only one The Thing, at least in the John Carpenter's version, but it can hide so well that it can basically kill and keep moving.
He's on.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Heather and Trek. But is there only one, or are there multiples at one time?
It's just the one, and it mutates.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes down to it, the fact that it's a creature that can take over, so even if it took over your loved one, your kid, or someone you knew, you would not be able to tell the difference. You would not be able to tell the difference, and that's why it's so scary. The fact that the movie is all taking place at a base in Antarctica was such a genius move. It's an isolated place where people have to rely on each other and know each other, and it mows through these motherfuckers like nothing. And when it comes down to it, in the end, you still don't know if they've taken care of it. It's a smart horror movie, and they deal with the thing I love is they figure out how to deal with it. And even then, they fail to deal with it.
They figure out how to identify it.
Yeah, and then even then, and it's smart. It's they use science to identify it, and even then, they can't deal with it. So I feel like the thing is a creature. If it could be more than just one, if it could multiply, it would be unstoppable. But as one in and of itself in a certain environment, it's unstoppable. But then you take the thing and you make it go up against a vampire, Dracula. That being said, I don't know, man. I like Dracula is one thing, but I don't think he'd be able. Would he be able? Does he have the senses to actually know if the thing would have taken over one of his thralls or someone he's meeting? I don't think so.
Okay, but here's the thing. I don't understand.
Here's the thing. There he is.
I don't understand where exactly along the line we determine these things by having them fight each other.
Well, it's one argument. It's one argument. They can fight each other. Who would win? Who would win if they fought each other? And if they don't, who is a more scary villain? For me, it's the Thing, because the Thing could be anybody I know at any point in time, and then all of a sudden I'm being eaten by their stomach. Dracula at least is Dracula, and Dracula all the time. He puts spells on people and shit like that.
Dracula will hypnotize you so you don't feel anything.
Yes, you kind of like. I mean, I feel like with when it comes to like who I'm gonna fall prey to, both of them. But Dracula would kind of be like a more pleasurable falling prey to, where the Thing would just eat me alive.
But you also have to remember this. While it may be more pleasurable to fall into, you also have absolutely no way of fighting back because you're mesmerized by him. So, like, it's immediate and ultimate death. You don't even get a chance to fight back.
It's the same thing with the Thing. It infiltrates your blood.
Well, if you have fallen prey, it's over for you with the Thing, and it's over for you with Dracula. The difference is, like, if I was in a room with someone that had the Thing in them and someone that was Dracula, I'd kind of, like, I mean, in the old iterations, you'd be like, this motherfucker looks a bit like Dracula. Also, Dracula can only really operate with efficiency at night. At night,
right?
So half of the fucking day is taken.
Here's with the Thing, it's day or night, and it can infect more than one person at a time.
And the Thing isn't just stuck on people. And the other thing is with the Thing is you can cut it up, and parts of it still move around. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. You can cut it up. The only thing that they found that really hurts it is fire. But even then, here's the difference. When they found what hurts it and what kills it, they couldn't kill it. With Dracula, when they found what hurts it and what kills it, they could. Dracula's got to go sleep during the fucking day. All you do is, I need to find his coffin and stab him in the chest. So there's an obvious way to do that. If it was me, I'd be like, oh, okay, we haven't found his coffin yet, and it's getting close to dusk. Let's leave. And let's go into a room filled with fucking garlic and shit. So, I mean, there are ways around Dracula, but the Thing is more scary to me, so I'm going with the Thing. That's my choice.
Thing is mine also.
So we got 2. We can go with Gina next.
You know, I want to say Dracula because, like, my very, very first memory of ever watching any kind of horror show was actually like the old black and white Dracula movie. But I'm going with The Thing because, like you guys said, you can't see it coming. You don't know what it infects. So, plus Dracula has way more like ways that he can be killed. So The Thing.
I'll also say in the movie The Thing, it's like every single person in that is just like super manly fucking Antarctic motherfucker. They all have these huge fucking beards, and it's just like Kurt Russell bearding out.
Like killing manly bearded men.
It's 100% true. Like you have to watch the movie. Most of them are super manly bearded men. Okay, we got the chat going with Dracula, and The Thing right now. Dracula winning there. Bobbit, who are you going with? The Thing or Dracula? I want The Thing to control.
I'm gonna go with The Thing because, yeah, Dracula ain't got shit on that.
It'd be such a weird crossover and it would never really work, but I wonder who would win. Trek, you going with Dracula or The Thing?
I'm going with The Thing. I mean, like we said, that Dracula has so many weaknesses: sunlight, stake through the heart, garlic, beheading. But
fire.
The Thing they could fire too, yeah. But The Thing they could barely even kill or even hurt. Even when they did, it still jumped into another person.
And the bottom line is Zaru says, I want The Thing to control my cock. I don't know about that, looking at it. Immediately your cock here, fucking hell. Your cock splits in half, and the fucking face comes out of it. It's like, oh, you're so happy to see me, step bro.
Oh, God.
I was waiting for the Step Bro reference sooner or later.
All right, so who we got next is a guy we all know. We all love. Do we all love?
Yeah.
I feel like I actually like this villain because he's like an insane toy maker. If that makes sense.
I feel like I loved him in like the first and maybe even the second.
Well, the problem is like the person doing the killing has changed over time. Here's the thing: they didn't know what they were doing, because in the first movie he's like terminally ill, and he's terminally ill in the second movie, and then he dies, but he's not dead. He's still terminally ill, and then they do brain surgery on him to keep him alive in the movie, which makes literally it was one of the most ridiculous fucking things I've ever seen. That being said, I do like the character.
It's just this set of movies just took on a whole nother dimension of Final Destination for me. So it's just like I'm not gonna bother giving it my money.
I mean, the best part is like, I want to play a game, and then you see somebody like strapped up to some sort of contraption, and they do 18 different camera cuts. It's like, here you are, the key is in your butthole, but you can't reach it with your hands. Therefore, you need Samuel L. Jackson to come in and retrieve it with his pubes.
The best thing about the first movie, we're gonna spoil it a little bit. Is that okay?
Entirely, we're gonna spoil it entirely.
Come on, Trek.
So I mean, we're gonna spoil it. So it's like the best thing about the last movie is he sits up at the end and he was one of the victims himself. He was playing one of the victims himself. So he sat up at the end and he was in there with everybody.
Yeah, it was a really neat reveal, but at the same time, I like had a bunch of questions. I'm like, so they didn't see him breathing, and he didn't move forever until it was the most opportune time for him to move. It was cool, and they did explain it kind of. I like the movie. I like Jigsaw as a character. I think he's and the actor plays it off really well as a creepy old dude.
Tobin Bell. Yeah, Tobin Bell. Yeah, he's really good.
But he's also a guy that, like, when it comes to like someone that does huge amount of planning before implementing something, he is up there with Hannibal Lecter. He does foresight way more than anything else. So, I gotta plan everything out. Meanwhile, you realize he's like chemotherapy on the bed 7 months later, having someone get their dick ripped off by some sort of machine.
That's my other problem with this movie. I mean, he's supposed to be this sick, but he can go out and buy all this shit and nobody says anything.
My question is how he sets it up. But then they kind of allude to it later where he does have help. but his help becomes like less about. Okay, the thing is with the original idea of Jigsaw, he's putting these people into these situations that aren't good people. They are bad,
Right.
and his idea of punishing them is putting them in a situation to kill themselves or
Well,
hurt
yeah,
themselves.
because the whole point of them being locked in there and having to do all these things is to like try to get them to like change their ways.
Yep, like he said, some people are so ungrateful, so you're trying to teach them a lesson. And even the girl from the first one, she said that she learned her lesson. She still went back and went. It was his protege, and even she went over the edge. She's like, I gotta kill this bitch too.
Yeah, well, also the original idea was like, and I think they should have leaned into this a bit more. It's like, these are the crimes you committed, and you're gonna pay penance for the crime. Like some weird fucking machine that I created that kind of alludes to the crimes that you did. The second movie kind of threw everything off. It was either the second or the third, where it's just a bunch of people in the house fucking reaching and crates for syringes and shit like that, was just kind of strange. Yeah, the second one I don't think was supposed to be a Saw movie. But it ended up being one.
I think that this was one, and I love that we get sequels to these movies. But this is one movie that should have never had a sequel. It should have just been its own thing, and then you could have figured out what was going on.
This one I don't mind them doing a sequel to. It's a better version of a Hostel, because it revels in the torture porn type of idea. Like, oh my god, the grotesque bullshit is where it kind of lives, and the threat of that happening, especially with the woman with the jaw about to explode, things like that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They've done a couple things right. He's a decent villain. He's one of the better, more modern age villains, I will say. But I also think like he's not himself, like Elias said in the chat, he's not that scary. It's when he has his sights on you a year later and he's died and come back to life from cancer that you should be scared. But who he's going against, you say? This bad boy.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I know who I'm voting for.
Yeah, there you go.
This isn't even. I don't even think this is a fucking competition.
Well, I do kind of, because like, okay, if you, like I said before, if you pit these two against each other in a fight, I think Jigsaw wins 10 times out of 10. But
yeah,
because he's got time to plan.
help him. But if he has time to plan, right? But what fight do you know that breaks out where people are going to have time to plan?
And not only that, but he's got his sick family with him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Leatherface. He is, yeah, the main antagonist. He does have a bunch of family members, but in the first one, like, only some of them are actively able to do anything.
No, most of them are. It's just the grandpa wasn't able to because he was so old. But even he had a purpose. But I mean, even when they redid it, and Arlie Ermey was his adoptive father, he was the corrupt sheriff in charge, so everyone in town was pretty much ready to fuck you over.
I will say Leatherface works much better as a villain years ago when the world wasn't as populated or as connected, because there was real fear. If you watch the original, there's real fear of being. I mean, it starts out a bit ridiculous, but there's real fear of people like, oh, we're gonna get all together in a van and we're gonna travel through the states and shit like that. Getting to a place in the middle of nowhere, with nobody, and kind of finding this type of shit was much scarier then than it would be now. But there's still fear associated.
It's just a simple
right
fact.
Now, there's still places like that here in Midwest.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a simple fact that like back when the first one came out of this, a lot of people, let's say they lived in, I don't know, fucking Georgia, and they wanted to take a vacation to California. A lot of people were driving across country back then. So there was a lot more of being on the road in situations like this. As these days, a lot more people are just going to fly. That there's not so much road tripping. these days.
Well, it's because these days you still have that threat of, somebody just randomly coming up and killing you while you're doing a road trip. It's more likely now than it was then.
I was just going to say, I would make the argument that it's actually more likely now. Because I know every time we go down south, we got a fucking gun in the middle console.
Well, that's what I was about to say. At this point in time, I mean, yeah, he is scary as shit. But the one thing that the movie does right is he doesn't just run up to a car and start attacking the car. He like the victims come to him. In the first movie, they come to the house that he's in looking for help, which makes more sense. But I mean, he's a human being, and at that point in time, he can be shot in the face, and that's it. There's no real intelligence behind what Leatherface does. He's almost like an animal, in my honest opinion. But he's scary as fuck. He's got a chainsaw. He's a butcher. And like in the movie, in the newer one, I think they portray him as a butcher with the actual place he worked going out of business, and him continuing on butchering people.
That was the prequel.
I will honestly say that the simple fact that he really doesn't have a plan and he's just like in a murder fucking frenzy.
It's not even just a frenzy. It's just you came to my place. Okay, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. That makes him 10 times more scary to me because like that, the likelihood of you running into somebody that is just going to fucking snap like that is so much more. Yeah, but like as soon as you snap, it's kind of hard to come back. But
where you don't have that ability to reason.
Right. The likelihood of running into somebody like him is so much more than the likelihood of running into somebody like Jigsaw.
Yeah, I mean, he's though neither of them are like a real adaptation. He's a bit more acceptable as somebody that could be like a real wild hillbilly that just fucking doesn't care about anything but beating you to death. Because forget about the chainsaw, forget about the face. I'm sure there's people that went off the beaten path and were like, "Can you help me?" And next thing you know, they're dead. That shit is a lot more real than someone being like, "I want to play a game," and all of a sudden you're in some sort of chair with the fucking clamps attached to your nuts. Like, I mean, that is not realistic.
Exactly.
And by your own description of the movie, I mean, Jigsaw is more of a vigilante where he's only attacking criminals, whereas this guy just attacks the first person he sees.
Right.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like, doesn't the mom from this like take the children, or am I thinking of a different movie?
Well, they're a family of like.
Right, but in one of these movies, doesn't one of the families that like break down or whatever, don't they have a child and the mom takes that child?
That's the girl in the reboot that the girl escapes, but then she finds out they have another child that they're praying to corrupt, so she has to go save the child, and she ends up saving it.
It's the one with Jessica Biel, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the one where they put the salt in the guy's legs.
Have you got to meet yet?
Well, we haven't really decided on anything. I'm gonna say.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, I was in the bathroom. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
And Aaron basically said, like, Aaron and I basically said the exact same thing at the exact same time. He said the same thing I did, whereas like, Leatherface is a little bit more real.
Well, actually, wait a second here. Wasn't Leatherface or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre actually based on something that's similar happened in real life?
It might be
loosely. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is actually based on a real story that happened.
Based on Ed Gein.
It's loosely based on a character. That being said, you can see because the argument is one exists in a much more real world than the other one. The other one, about the fact that he has all these plannings and he can create these schematics to make these horrible torture toys. It's like the amount of work that needs to be put in by a guy that's a cancer patient doesn't not make any fucking sense. In the end, fear-wise, Leatherface is fucking scary. He is actually scary. and because he can't be reasoned with, he's like a child with an adult body that just wants to kill you. So he is scary 100%, and I am going to go with Leatherface.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Bob, track.
As much as I love Jigsaw, I could go with Leatherface here. He's way more scarier.
Mm-hmm.
Track.
I agree. I mean, it's not only that. It's that if you go back and watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it wasn't gory. It was gory, but it was like buckets of blood. It was like Halloween, where it's like you thought you saw more than you did, and it was just the fear you thought you saw. It scared the shit out of you more than what you did see. So I'm going with Leatherface.
But that's apparently, and I don't know if this is true, but this is what I heard. Leatherface, not Leatherface, but the fucking franchise, originally was trying to make a movie that wouldn't hit the R rating. When they made this specific movie, which I find laughably hard to believe, because holy fucking Christ, look it up, man, look it up.
I believe it, but knowing that, and we can't ask Toby Hooper, unfortunately, because he passed away a couple years ago. I think he said he wasn't even going for a rating. He was just doing the movie, and then with every rating they gave him, he gave him.
Well, maybe there was pressure from the studio or something like that, but I did hear that. I don't know if that's real or not. In the end, there is no fucking. This movie is creepy. Even watch it now, and this movie is fucking creepy. Because there's no the movie doesn't fuck around. Like the guy's like, "Hey, are you here?" And he just fucking hammers his head and hits him to the ground.
Yep,
like there's no
drops that sledgehammer at his head.
Yeah, they do not fuck around in this movie. The Hills Have Eyes is a good indication of what this movie was kind of doing. If you want a newer version of it, but they don't have the protagonist, the antagonist that this movie does. But in the end, I do think. Yeah, and I mean even this was, but Leatherface is obviously the main guy. If you guys wondered, Fabe went with Jigsaw. He's the only one. But that's the difference between talking it out and doing it any other way. So we're basically done with the second round now, guys.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So we can actually build the bracket, which is fucking good. Nice. Freddie might come back. Who knows?
I just realized that we also forgot the mom from House of Wax.
Well, we forgot the tall man too, but it's just we didn't have room for some of them.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a Money in the Bank for the.
We could always do something like if we could do it next year. We could always
passion and Money in the Bank.
We can always do something next year where like we eliminate whoever won this year and just plant in another one to make sure we don't have a repeat, so keep it fresh.
The whole problem is we're going to have the same conversations about the same creatures.
Yeah, in the end, I think like if you want to involve somebody that's either been eliminated because they had a tough opponent or we haven't included, we can maybe work something out where one of the obvious, like, we don't even need to discuss it, this person won, can kind of get replaced by somebody that's a bit more important. So there's ways around it to do something like that, and that might be something we think about because, when you look at like certain people that end up facing each other through the randomizer, it's kind of like one and done, nobody cares. But it'd be nice to see like the best of the losers kind of fight off to get the first chance at redeeming themselves, because there are a lot of good villains that have unfortunately fallen off before the bracket begins. So it'd be nice to actually do something like that, and maybe that's something we will do. We'll talk about it, but the next time we're going to do this is going to be Wednesday of next week. At that point in time, an actual bracket will exist for the top 32, which will be fun. It will be randomized, but it will be premeditated. When I say that, I mean, what the fucking hell? What the fuck was that?
That literally sounds like somebody was just taking a big puff of fucking weed.
Oh no, I had to take a really deep breath because I was holding my breath. I didn't realize it.
You not realize?
How do you not realize you're not breathing?
Well, it's like no, I didn't. I was trying not to breathe into the microphone. I realized I was holding my breath.
Oh, you make me laugh.
All right,
Okay.
Trek is definitely gonna be in the Money in the Bank as one of the other fucking murderers.
I forgot to breathe.
But yeah, we'll do this again next Wednesday. We'll get more serious. We're gonna get down to the final 32. But before that happens, Gina's gonna go live at some point in time. She's under the weather a bit, so she's working on it. At some point in time before Monday, if she doesn't, she doesn't. Whatever. But if she does, then you guys need to check her out. I don't know what she's gonna be playing. She might be going back to Street Fighter. She's got a couple people to run through. To get to that general storyline, or whatever it was.
I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with Street Fighter right now. I might put that on hold for a little bit because I do have a Halloween kind of themed game.
Oh, intriguing.
So yeah, I think I'm going to put a pin in Street Fighter for now and come back to it later.
If it's the game I mentioned to you, you're going to like it.
Yeah, it is that one, and I've been wanting to play it. It's funny because Heather actually mentioned it to me in the chat, and I'm like, I literally just started downloading that game like a couple of hours ago.
So Gina's gonna hit us up with some horror goodness in the next couple days. On either hopefully Monday, I will continue with Alan Wake, a game that frustrates me but intrigues me because I don't know what the fuck is happening. I have like inklings, but also the combat is annoying. And then we have Heather still working through. You're almost done, right?
Yes. Thursday should be the ending to Uncharted.
The ending of Uncharted, and then obviously on Wednesday we've got Bobbit and Trek releasing Nerd Squad on Sundays, so you guys check that out. And JP doing some I think not MLB, NFL or MLB.
Madden 21, yep. He's going to do the season. 21. He's going to move the team. He's going to take care of all of that on Friday.
Madden 21 on Friday, and everybody out there
tomorrow?
check yeah, tomorrow.
Or actually today, because it's 2:00 in the morning.
That's true.
Everybody else, check out anything OK Fabe might upload to our channel. It's always good to have them on. So everybody have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being part of this. And we're going to get into the meat and potatoes next week and hopefully get through this before October ends. Fuck me.
I want to play a game.